This is the motivation.
All right.
Woo.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, all right.
Welcome to the stream.
Welcome to the show. All right.
Oh, okay.
Who's
Hi,
here?
I'm Max.
And I'm Peter.
And I'm Jamie, and this is Monty. You all met him around 3:30 a.m. this morning.
Mm-hmm. He sent a little email saying the stream was live.
Let's put
but
him
it was,
over there.
Yeah, we couldn't wait to get started.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be your hosts for today's special premiere of the 5th edition of the Mini Museum. Just a quick rundown. I've been working here since the first edition.
And I've been here about 5 years now.
And I've been here since the very beginning. So here we are, and it's very exciting for all of us to be here and to bring you the 5th edition after 4 years of, just some adventures. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Awesome. So, sweet. Hi, everybody. We can see you in chat over there.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah, there it
Jason. Hey, everybody. How's
We got
it going?
some dinosaur specimens for you, Jason. Definitely going to have some of those.
It's going to be good stuff. All right. So, let's start. You saw some of the specimens in the 5th edition and that little sizzle reel there. So we can actually go through and we'll talk about every single specimen. We're going to go really in depth a little bit later in the program. But first, why don't we just go through all of them and just
Let's
say real
go
quick
through
what they
all of
are.
them. Let's go through it. I'm going to step out, actually, because I got some other stuff to do before launch. These guys are going to take over. There's lots of syllables here, so if they stumble over some, let's Just be patient. They also had a lot of coffee before we started, so.
Yeah, it's true.
So we're just running through.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, well, number 1, this is Stellar Heart. This is Muano Alusta, and this is a meteorite that has material from the early solar system, 4.5 billion years old.
Yep, it's a great way to start off the museum. One of the oldest specimens we've ever had in the collection. Next up, we've got the Martian dust storm. This is a Shergotite, which is a type of Martian meteorite, specifically NWA 7397.
Number 3, this is Starry Night. That was a Martian meteorite, and this is a lunar meteorite, NWA 13951.
Yep, so Moon and Mars is going to be in this collection. Very excited for that. Next up, we have Magma Ocean. This is the Isua Greenstone, which is a formation of geologic material from the Archean period on Earth, when everything was still magma and lava.
Number 5, Cauldron Life, deep sea hydrothermal vents that formed during the Archean period as well, and this is where life on Earth may have originated in the first place. So we see the story of life beginning with this specimen.
Hi, San Francisco. Hello, I see you guys. Matt Damon worked at Mini Museum. Is that supposed to be you or me?
I don't know.
Probably not me. Next up, we have Rough Ruby. This is the gemstone in Mini Museum 5. It's a 500 million year old stone, and it's pretty beautiful. It really brings a nice pop of color to the collection.
Oh, yeah. Number 7, Conquest of Land. These are the first land plants that first showed up on Earth that terraformed the environment almost, and among them Cooksonia.
I'm very excited about Conquest of Land. This is 450 million year old fossil plant material. Super cool. Hello from Brussels. Hi. All right, next up, number 8. Dunkleosteus. If you've seen the pole down there, you see there's 2 fossil fishes there. This is the first one. Dunkleosteus, as we know, was a placoderm, a hard-headed, super powerful fish with big jaws. We'll get a little bit more into the 2 of them, but don't vote until we talk about the other fish as well, unless you already know it.
Number 9, Permian bone. These are small vertebrate fossils from the Permian period, and we're really excited for this one specifically. It looks really great in the museum, and we really want to talk to you about it later.
This one is going to be so cool. I cannot wait to show you guys what this looks like in the museum. Hi, Stephanie. How's it going? Hello from Berlin. Hi, I see you. Daco 3000. Thank you. All right, next up, this is the fish I was talking about. This is the Coelacanth, which is... I don't want to skew the poll results here, but this is my favorite fish.
I'm more of a donkey guy, but whatever.
The Coelacanth originates around the same time as the Dunkleosteus, but it survived all the way up until the Cretaceous extinction event, or at least that's what we thought, until we found out there are still coelacanth fishes swimming around today.
Oh, you're giving up all the good stuff right away.
We'll get more in depth into it. Oh, this is great. We're getting into the dinosaur period.
Yes, this is number 11. This is Carcharodontosaurus, a tooth, what's been called Africa's answer to Tyrannosaurus. So really interesting predator.
Yes, a terrifying and huge theropod. Super cool.
Hi, Austin.
All right, Daspletosaurus. This is next. Another theropod. This is an early T-Rex, proto-T-Rex. They want pictures. I'm being told we want pictures. Get the Daspletosaurus up on here. Let's see it. This is a proto-T-Rex, an early member of the Tyrannosaurid family. It's a really cool dinosaur. Do we have it up yet?
Yes.
Oh, there it is. Look at that. Super cool. All right, what's next?
Number 13, this is Oviraptor. This is what is named the egg thief dinosaur, and we'll actually talk about how that name's kind of wrong later on, but this is sort of the other side, not a predator, but a more docile dinosaur. But
I love Oviraptor.
He's going to talk about this later.
I have a lot to say about Oviraptor.
There's opinions.
Oh, the link. Yes, the link to the crowdfunding campaign should be in the description of our channel here. I think we're also going to send out an email at 4 o'clock once the campaign goes live as well.
Yes, keep an eye on your email, folks.
Yep. All right, next up, this is the last dinosaur in the collection, number 14, the Alamosaurus, a titanosaur. It's a huge dinosaur, giant beast, 85 feet long. This is a really cool one.
And number 15, woolly rhinoceros. We're getting into the Ice Age now.
Yeah, what is the period of time called, Peter?
I wrote down the pronunciation. It's the Pleistocene.
So close.
Oh,
Pleistocene.
Second mispronunciation of the night. But a woolly rhinoceros, you know, if you can imagine a woolly mammoth, but as a rhino, 4-foot long horn. So we're advancing along the course of history now.
Yep. All right. Ooh, next up, another Pleistocene creature, the Glyptodon. This is a funny-looking little guy, like a big turtle, kind of. But he's a mammal. These creatures have an interesting history with humanity that we'll talk about a little bit more in depth. This is a cool specimen. I can't wait to talk about this during the deep dive.
And 17, Darwin glass. This is a tektite, so kind of like an obsidian-type glass that forms from a meteorite impact, and this one's from Tasmania.
Oh, Insomniac 86, Western Australia. Oh, thank you for being here. I know it's still so early or late. I don't know if you stayed up or if you woke up, but thank you for being here. And North Carolina, United States.
Hi, Boston.
Very good. All right, next up, we're getting into the humanities' arrival on the scene on planet Earth. This is Dawn of Creativity. This is red ochre, which is just like, it's a miracle material. We used it for everything in the early stages of humanity, but you'll know it most as this cave art. So at the Lascaux Caves, you see ochre there.
And number 19, early modern humans, and these are stone tools. A stone tool core that flakes would be flaked off of and used in other things. So it's kind of like a base tool that other things would be constructed from.
I can't wait to show you this one on stream. It's super cool. All right, next we have Lost Civilization. This is Luristan bronze. It's a very interesting specimen about an interesting and not well understood civilization.
Yeah, from Iran that was discovered in the 20s, and we'll talk more about it later.
And this is a civilization we know a lot about. This next one, number 21.
Number 21, Roman siege engines. This is a shot from a catapult dated to the 3rd century.
Yep, super cool. The ballista shots, they're really neat. We'll show you a couple later on during the deep dive. Next up, we have a specimen representing the Ottoman Empire. This is Kemha silk. It comes from a silk waistband. This interesting piece of material that sort of showcases the west to east economic system.
Number 23, Monticello, and this is a wood from Thomas Jefferson's estate that was also actually fashioned into a gavel that was used at the 1968 Democratic election or convention. So 2 moments of American history.
Is that Mr. Milk, I think it is, or Mr. Mulk? Yes, that's a good question. Are any of these exclusives to the crowdfunder? Yes. So I believe we've already talked about Martian Dust Storm, Conquest of Land. Is Coelacanth exclusive? I believe it is, right?
Yes, I believe so.
So those 3 are going to be exclusive. We have 2 more that we can call out once we get to them. You'll also be able to see all the exclusive specimens on the campaign page once that goes live too. All right, next up, Old Ironsides. This is a piece of the original hull of the USS Constitution. A beautiful boat that has a very fun story behind how it got its nickname.
And number 25, this is probably a lot of our, well, it's maybe my favorite. I don't know if it's yours, but a piece of Amelia Earhart's plane from her first transatlantic crossing.
Obviously, this is not the real plane. But we do have a piece of it, which is super cool. When is MM6? Stay tuned. We're not going to announce it today. No, this is all about MM5. All right. Next up, number 26. We're getting more into the modern era here. We've got Empire State Building. This is a cool specimen. Empire State Building, iconic, piece of the skyline. Like, you know it. It's awesome. And we're going to put it in the museum.
Yep.
I love that.
And number 27, another one of my favorites, Cold War espionage. And this is a piece of the Ajax-12, a Soviet spy camera. Well, it's actually a piece of the button that would obscure the camera shutter that would like flick open for a second and close. And we're very excited to have this one in here.
This is super neat. Can we, I don't want to go too in depth, but can we get the diagram of how the camera worked up on the, yeah. This is a super cool thing. We're going to go more in depth about this, and there's kind of a special surprise about the camera itself, too. Yeah. This is another one of those, I forgot to mention, Amelia Earhart and the Soviet spy camera. These are both going to be the other 2 exclusives.
Yes,
so the roundup is Martian Dust Storm, Conquest of Land, which is the earliest land plants, Coelacanth, the Soviet spy camera, and Amelia Earhart. That are the 5 exclusives, which brings the total up to 34 specimens, our biggest museum in a large ever. All right, next up, we've got the happiest place on earth. Walt Disney, we have a piece of the private apartment that he had in Disneyland. His cranberry room above the firehouse on Main Street, USA. This is a beautiful piece with a lot of beautiful history behind it.
Yep.
I think we actually have somewhere around here. There's
What do you mean?
we'll show it to you later. We have a little pamphlet of Disneyland in 1955, which is quite a trip down memory lane.
I didn't know you were that old.
Can't you see?
Number
I've
29.
aged very well.
Queen of the Skies. This is a piece of a Boeing 747, the first jumbo jet. Long career, only just stopped production earlier this year, and so we're excited to have a piece of it in the museum.
Yep. Simon Finn. Yep. The Kickstarter or the crowdfunder on BackerKit. It's going to go live in about 15 minutes. Frage says that we've crashed BackerKit, which is insane. I hope they get it back up in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Boeing 747. That is number 29. All right. Next up, we've got 1969, the most iconic music festival in American history. It's Woodstock.
Yeah.
We've got a piece of the stage. Very excited about this piece. Lot of awesome musicians on there.
Number 31, this is a nuclear arms race. This is a piece of a decommissioned Trident 1 C4 missile taken apart as part of START. And it's not radioactive, it's safe.
Yeah, this one is crazy. So we had Trinitite in the first museum. In MM4 we had Manhattan Project. And now we have a piece of a more modern nuclear missile, which is super crazy, super cool. It comes from Michael and Katie Newton. And thank you guys for sending us that piece. It's super awesome. And we'll tell you the full story of it in just a little bit once we go into the deep dive.
And number 2, Sony Walkman.
Sony Walkman. I love the Walkman. I mean, if you listen to music, you owe it to Walkman. Like, if you listen to stuff on your phone, that all comes from the Walkman. So we're going to be talking about, what was it like before we had headphone culture, before we had personal music devices everywhere. And getting really into the history of that, and also into the history of the economics of Japan, which is really interesting.
And number 33, Everest. These are Mount Everest climbing ropes that we were able to procure back in 2019.
Yeah, this is from Hansa's trip to Nepal. These are some ropes that we were allowed to take back because they needed to get swapped out. They were kind of old. Super cool stuff. Very dusty. They've been a little dusty, but they're very neat, and they add a nice touch of blue to the museum as well.
Yeah, it's a good color.
Mm-hmm.
And number 34, Gateway to the Stars.
Gateway to the Stars. I've said that I have a lot of favorite specimens here.
Yeah.
Because I can't pick. But this one is easily in the top 5, maybe top 3. This is a piece of the Kennedy Space Center, the Launch Control 39A, which is one of the most iconic places for mission liftoffs in NASA history. I can't wait for this to be in here. You can actually, I think it's in this photo. Is the photo up? I think it's there. It should be up near the top. You can actually see the light pole in this photo that our specimen comes from. Hopefully.
Do you want to answer that question?
Oh, yes. HX 009. Will the Mini Museum 5 Grand Collection physically be the same size as previous mini museums? Yes. So it is going to be a much bigger museum. Can we actually get a photo of what the museum collection is going to look like up on the screen here? Yeah. Bring it. Welcome back, Jamie.
Hello.
So
am I on the
this
screen,
is-
or is something else on the screen?
I think you're on the screen.
Oh, this is in Mini Museum 5. This is Age of Dinosaurs. Inside an LED light stand. Hopefully the batteries are up to date. Yay! Look, there it is. And these are going to be, we're going to order these again, and we'll have these. MM5 will be the exact same size. The large MM5 will be the same size as every other edition. It will fit in this stand. And of course, you'll be able to order more stands. The small will be the same size as the existing small. The touch will be in its existing touch size case, and there'll be pictures and all that stuff available on the campaign page. You can see all the wonderful stuff. We're going to talk about prototyping and a lot of other stuff later too, right? Yeah.
Yes. It is, as you can tell from the image, going to be a lot
We'll leave
more
it on,
stuffed than previous museums. We've got a lot of stuff to put in here.
put it
We're really stretching what we can do. But it's beautiful. I think this is our most colorful museum ever. I mean, just in terms of all the different, shapes and textures, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, there's all different kinds of colors in there. Green and red and blue from Sony Walkman. Somebody asked about the Sony Walkman we're going to have in there, which year it is. Number 1.
Yeah, 1979.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, all of our previous museums have been beautiful, but this one, it's really artistic. It really takes the cake for me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah,
I can't. I love them all. I mean, I'm wearing my Age of Dinosaurs shirt. So, Justin Tolbert, if you're out there, there will be a MM5 shirt as well, but we don't have that ready to show yet.
So this museum will be on BackerKit's exclusive crowdfunding service. We're super excited to pioneer that. So once in about 10 minutes, 9 minutes, as Professor Chaos has told me, this page that we are streaming on right now, unless you're on Twitch, but this BackerKit page is going to flip over to the campaign page. You'll be able to see all the stuff there, as well as some extra little goodies, because it's not just mini museums this time. We've got some other cool stuff.
With lots of other cool stuff, plus the backer exclusives, the specimens that will only be available to large and touch backers of the campaign, because we're going to do 34. And we haven't announced all the rest of it yet, though, right? So that'll be in the campaign. But there are exclusive specimens just to people who back the campaign, not post-campaign. So if you're thinking about MM5, you're going to want to back it.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll remind you which ones those are as we go through, and when we go in depth with all the specimens in a little bit.
Yep. All right, so let's talk a little bit about those special extra stuff that's going to be in this campaign. First of all, the stands. As we talked about, the custom LED stands for your mini museum, these will be back. They are going to return, so you'll be able to order more. How much is the large? The large in the early bird special is going to be $2.99. That's the first 24 hours, and then after that, it's going to be $3.29. So if you love this thing, if you're into it, well, not this one, this is the dinosaurs, but if you like those specimens, you should back in the first 24 hours. That is the best deal.
Right, so there's no limit on how many early birds we're doing this time. Usually there's a limit, and everybody's like, click, 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 and we're like, no, let's just up the number, and like everybody that backs in the first 24 hours is going to get the early bird pricing, and then we'll up the price after that. So please come and jump in there.
Yep, so the campaign is going to run from today in about 10 minutes all the way to June 2nd. After that, the pledges are going to go out later in June, probably. We expect to have everything prepped.
The pledges are not going out in June. We're not
shipping
in
in June.
The
pledge manager will go out in June. Yes.
Shipping more like late October, early November, I think is the current date that we have on there. Obviously, lots of fun things happen between here and there, but that's our target.
Yes. So hopefully we'll stay on target for that. Expect stuff early November. So yeah, let's talk about these extra add-ons. We talked about the stand already. We got a couple other cool stuff that's happening too. We're doing pins this time. We're going to do pins of the different specimens. We've got 3 designed already, and we're going to have some stretch goals to unlock some more. Let's look at the first one. This is for Cooksonia. Let's get that up on screen. This is a awesome design by our resident artist, Ellis Nolan.
And this is a representation of Conquest of Land, one of the specimens, one of the exclusives, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this is Cooksonia, which is one of those super early plants. Ellis, do you want to come on and say hi?
Oh, I'm going to get out. Ellis can jump on.
Yeah, Ellis is going to come on.
I'll get out.
I'll move out of the way so it doesn't hit his head.
I mean, knock anything over.
Ellis isn't just an artist, but he's also a mini museum alumni.
Yeah.
Yes. So Ellis, you worked here a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you started about, what was it, 3 years ago?
I remember, I think the first thing I worked on was Age of Dinosaurs, if I remember correctly. So if you have one of those, I probably cut your little bit of Ankylosaurus.
If it looks bad, I cut it.
But yeah, I designed that pin. I was really happy with how they came out.
Everybody loves you, Ellis. They're all saying hi.
Oh,
that's nice.
Somebody's
got Screaming Lizard. Thank you, Get Smart.
Screaming Lizard. Yeah, thank you. That's great.
So, Ellis, tell us a little bit about this pin.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's sort of like I had a couple different ideas for Cooksonia. I remember I got a couple of like reference images. One of them was from Wikipedia. I don't know if we have that one, but they look kind of like weird mushrooms.
Yeah, can we get the art of the art that's the hero art for the campaign?
It's kind of funky.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So obviously that was sick. I think Jamie made that, right?
Yeah, that's art. Yeah, we made that.
Yeah, and so I liked the like not only the little shapes and everything, but also how the sun is kind of coming up. So it's sort of like this metaphorical, the dawn of plants, if you will. But
and you can kind of see that in the pin too, right?
Exactly. So that's kind of the idea I had with the pin, having kind of the sun come up in the background.
Yeah, I love it.
This guy's got the mind of an artist.
We got another.
Thank you.
We got another pin too. This one was designed by Christian Baldo, but you also helped color it as well, Ellis. So let's see it. Yeah, the Dunkelosius. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so cool. He's like swimming around. I love
Let's give
it.
some love to Christian. Too.
Yeah,
He
shout out,
designs all
big
of our
shout out,
packaging
Christian.
And the design of the book.
Christian
The
is
logo.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, bring on your shirt. Let's see
Oh, yeah, I'll come back.
the old Age of
No,
Dinosaurs
I'll
shirt.
come
Yeah.
back.
Here,
I'll stand here. I think
Okay.
I'm still
Yeah.
in. Am I still
So that's
in?
another Christian
Am I good?
original.
All right. So yeah, this is.
And Grant,
This is
you helped
actually
design-
based off of
did you
Grant's
help design this
original
one, too?
design, and then we did the work. And the packaging for MM5 will be coming soon. Christian's actually working on that, adding extra touches and doing artistic stuff. We'll have a project update. We'll release that. And the question was, is there going to be a shirt? Yes, there will be a shirt for MM5, of course, because we have to. Otherwise, Justin gets mad. So we're gonna have a shirt. And I want a shirt too, so yeah, it'll be a cool shirt. It'll look like the packaging when that comes, and yep, that'll be great.
All right,
Next pin.
get off my
Awesome.
couch.
Yeah.
Too many people.
Hi, can I sit on the couch?
You can sit on the couch.
Yay.
Sure. Next pin. Let's see the coelacanth. Oh, look at that. So this pin is from Carrie Allison of Aspen Hearted. Oh God, I love this thing so much. Look at it. It's amazing.
It's beautiful.
Yes. This is the coelacanth, which is the other of the two fossil fish that we're fighting about in the chat.
This is the
Can
one.
somebody tell me who's winning? Is it Dunkleosteus or coelacanth? Somebody check. Let me know.
Donkey's the one you're supposed to vote for.
That's not true.
Okay.
You vote for whatever one you want. Vote for coelacanth. We also have another alternative design of this that we're going to release if we hit our ultimate goal, our ultimate stretch goal. This is the golden coelacanth. So if we get through everything, everyone's going to get a golden coelacanth pin. And it's going to be a campaign exclusive. We're going to make enough for the run, and then
That'll
more.
be it.
That'll be it.
And the golden coelacanth. It's not going to be made out of gold. Let's just be clear about that. But it's going to be awesome. So it'll look like that, but it's going to be super cool.
Who's running the OBS? That is Sam. Sam is our tech guy for today. He's doing a fantastic job. So
Sam has
far.
also been around since Mini Museum 1 when he was a wee little guy. So Max and Sam are both my kids. And so, of course, drag them into the project right from the very beginning and make them work all summer, every summer. So that's really wonderful. But
I mean, I gotta be serious. It's probably the best summer job you could possibly have.
Yeah.
They're telling me they don't have poll results. All right, I'm gonna go fix it. I'll
All
be
right.
right back.
No poll results. All right, so here we are. All right, so what do we got to talk about, Peter?
I don't know. The guy running the show just left. What's that, Sam?
Let's see. We talked about, is it going to be the same size? Is it going to fit into the stand? Yeah, it's going to
Well,
fit
yeah.
into
Just
the
if you have any
stand.
questions, why don't you just drop
Somebody
in the chat
asked
right now.
about Hans, who's not on the stream because he's terrified of the camera. Longtime Mini Museum backers know that. He's decided he's not going to be the face of the business. So, I mean, we love him, and we're going to respect that. Next question. Chunkleosteus. Do we have a Chunkleosteus question? I thought I saw somebody talking about that. Oh, we're down to the... What are we down to?
90 seconds.
No, I can't read that. I'm old. See, I have these glasses, but they're for up close when I'm working on specimens, which I'm going to be doing a lot of very, very, very soon. So, Max, do we have an answer on that yet? We don't. So, oh, here he comes.
All good. Who's
right.
winning?
Who's winning?
I have good news, everybody.
Oh my god.
Coelacanth is at 67%.
Oh.
My weighting of the polls is working.
You're waiting of the polls. I
We
mean,
got-
it is the living fossil, right? I mean,
Yes.
everybody loves that.
Well, we'll see what happens when other people show up. We'll see what happens when we start talking about Dunkleosteus. Because, to be fair, if we're just talking about the two fish, Dunkleosteus is kind of just like a cooler animal.
I think
Yeah.
the tides are going to
Yeah.
turn.
I mean, it really depends. I mean, the coelacanth hangs upside down. It hangs upside down while it's in the water and it hunts that way. It's super cool. It's kind of weird, right?
But Dunkleosteus has bone teeth.
Okay, yes, it's very
Suction
big.
power.
Oh, we gotta. Come on, Grant, come in here.
He's like eye bone. He's armored.
Oh, yes, he's got eye
That's
bones.
true. He's got
Can we see
armored
the
bones.
Can we see the
Placoderms are
skull of
amazing.
Dunkleosteus up
I mean,
here?
I
It's
love
super
the
cool.
I love the Dunkleosteus. Don't get me wrong.
We're gonna get it up here real quick. Oh, we're almost there. We're like a minute away. Our timer is wrong.
Our timer's wrong. Oh no.
Oh sweet.
The good
Okay.
thing is we're not doing
live.
any of this
We're live
back.
now.
Oh, we're live.
This
Okay,
is 4
we're live.
o'clock.
We're live. It's 4 o'clock. Everybody, I guess we're live.
Sweet,
Hopefully everything's
sweet.
switched
Go,
over.
go,
Hopefully
go.
you're backing. Go,
Start
go,
backing.
go.
Oh.
We should probably stop talking. So
Yes,
you're not
yes.
listening
Take
to
us to a
anymore.
BRB. We got to do a couple behind the scenes stuff, and then we'll be back.
Yes.
This is the motivation.
Welcome to the 5th edition of the Mini Museum, a grand collection celebrating life and exploration inspired by our collective journey through space and time. The 5th edition begins with the stellar heart of our solar system, the core of a primitive celestial body formed in the cataclysmic heat and violent aftermath of the sun's ignition. We'll journey from this exuberant beginning more than 4.6 billion years ago to visit our closest neighbors in the cosmos. Here, we will contrast planetary-scale dust storms that last for months with the eternal clarity of the lunar surface. Turning to Earth, we enter a world bathed in fire, a smoldering ocean of magma taking hit after hit of icy comet strikes. Billions of years pass before the first stirrings of life, and then suddenly, it is everywhere. From seas teeming with creatures to the first conquest of land. We will explore it all, from armored fish in the ocean's depths to scrambling creatures covering the surface of our planet. We will expand from here to visit the largest of creatures ever to walk the earth, as well as those who evolved to prey upon their majestic forms. At long last, we will begin our own chapter, starting with a spark of creativity that has infused humanity since the earliest days. We will delve into our fascination with the world before us and soar with a ceaseless desire to explore every vista on the ground and in the skies. We will find conflict too. We will wrestle with these deep questions, with our understanding of history and science, and with each other. We will also celebrate the beauty we create and the dreams we share with the rest of the world, amid the quiet moments we keep only to ourselves. Then we will turn outward to the stars, to which we seem so intent on returning. The 5th edition of the Mini Museum is a massive collection, our most ambitious to date. We are excited to continue the journey together, sharing the love of science and history with the world. Your continued support has made this journey possible, and we are so very grateful.
Welcome back.
Hey everybody, what'd you think of the video? Oh my god, thank you guys. We're
Yes.
already doing so good. Like, seriously, this is awesome. We're gonna go into depth on some of the specimens, but first, we want to talk to you guys, and we want to thank you guys. Oh, 1 second. Peter, why don't you start reading the names?
Oh, sure. And who is it I'm thanking? So we can just say to them. Oh, I meant. Never mind. First, we just want to thank Christopher Kennedy, Eric Bosna, Michael Pieroni. I'm justified if I mispronounce a couple of these.
We will absolutely mispronounce your name, and I'm so sorry. Please DM us, and we will record a video of us saying your name.
I'll say it
correctly.
100 times correctly.
I promise.
Joaquim Lochtu, Jordan Higgins, Brett Goring, Robert Ewing, Ingrid, Paige Pazan, Jabe Top Cat, Christopher. You want to take some?
Yeah, thank you, Stephen Hen, Kate T, Eric, Rom, Matthew Cizon, Dr. T. Thank you, Dr. T.
Oh my God.
Eric B, Jason Perry, Jenny Wink, Maxwell Salzberg. Very cool name, Maxwell.
And
RH. Yep. All right, who's next? Give us more names. Jay Vengeance, I also wish you could have been backer 666.
Alexander Donoth.
Yeah. Go down to the bottom, Grant.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Nicola Hill, Andrew, Justin A.C., John Siegel, LLW Will, David Pileski, Robin Leiden, Mike Leitner.
Roy, thank you, Roy. Thank you, Brian Worthman. Thanks, Joseph Allen. Thank you, seriously, Joseph Allen. Thank you, Gamma Ray 117. Thank you, Hari. Thank you, Kirsten or Kristen? It's Kirsten, right?
Kirsten.
Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, Lucas Alonso Martinez. Thank you, Frederick Kerniati. Thank you, Kyle Richter. Thank you, AC. Thank you, Gabriel W. Thank you. I think your picture is in the backer collage. So thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, SJA301. I'm so sorry. The numbers are... Oh, it's hurting me. Thank you, Michael. Michael Lineman.
Doe the First, Desert Blue. You guys have cool parents.
These are awesome.
Benjamin. This Vandertoon.
Oh, we just hit 700 backers. So awesome.
Thank you so much, guys. Justin Toft, Chris Janes, Amy.
Real quick, Insomniac 86, you will be able to get the Touch and Large edition. In the post-campaign pledge, you'll be able to add other editions. You can mix and match however you please.
And Kevin T. And we said Alexander Donoth. You get 2 thank yous. Yes.
All right, who's next? Oh, don't click too hard. All right, bring us down. We didn't plan out how to do the thank yous before the stream, so apologies for a little bit of the tech stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew, Nacho, Mango, Drew Nichols, Alex, Robert Hines, Jason Starry, Paul Williamson, the whole fish family.
The fish family. Which fish should you vote for? Tell us in the chat if you can. I'll be looking.
Nikki, Kai, Dave, Dominic Schwartz.
Yes. Thank you, Anonymous. Much appreciated, Anonymous. Thank you, Bruno Descli. Thank you. Is that Hokey X? Super cool name. Thank you, Brian Wanless. Thank you, Stefan St. Julian. Thank you, Kevin Lydon. Thank you, Alexander Iscasiano. Thank you, Patrick Hess. Thank you, Frage. Thank you, Russell Rubman. Thank you, Kaz. Thank you very much, Kaz. I appreciate it. Thank you, Cataclysm SX. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Gary Shiganaka. Thank you, RJ Lambert. Thank you, Caprixe? Let's look at chat. Let's see if we got anything good. Hello from San Diego, number 642. Thank you, Kung Fu Ketchup.
Will there be a booklet to add on later as well?
Oh, yes. We are going to have... it's not a booklet, actually. It's a hardcover companion guide. It's going to look like this.
Hello.
Welcome back, Jamie. Do you want to thank some people afterwards?
I'm loving watching all these names. Like when you had LL up there, that's Lodge. And then Justin Owen emailed me because I called him out on the stream for the shirt. And of course all these names.
Number 37, Happy Shaz. Thank you. I'm sorry you didn't get read. I don't know what order these names are in. If it's new or not new. So they're coming in so fast.
Yeah,
we
we've
can't
got
tell,
it on
but
this.
thank you, Happy
we don't
Shaz.
know which one's which.
Thank you all.
But yeah, the book. So we'll have another companion guide. It'll be a hardcover book designed so that you can hold a mini museum in front of it when you're talking to somebody about it. and loving it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be great.
So it's gonna look like that. I do think at the end of the stream, like way at the end, we're gonna read through everybody's names on the backer kit pledges.
Oh yeah.
Can I just hop in to say, so as far as us not knowing who's who, the way it displays for us, you all show at exactly the same timestamp.
Oh
It's
my
how fast
God! Wait,
everybody
yes,
came in.
you're right. So everybody
it's
came in
sort
at the
of
same
a
way.
visual mess.
Good job, guys. Good job, guys. That's teamwork,
If
coordination.
Barbara was my Barbara, hi mom. Hope you guys are well.
Keep backing the campaign and Crash Backer Kit. Keep doing it all at the same time.
We told them we would crash it, and you guys did a good job right out the start. So let's just keep
We're
keep
stress
pounding
testing.
away.
Thank you, Emily K. Smith, 740th backer. Very cool. Number 20, Jenny Wink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
I
Thank you.
am.
Who did we just talk over?
Yeah.
Jenny who?
Jenny Wink.
Oh, Jenny. Okay.
Yep. All right,
Thank
you
you.
keep thinking.
I can't
I'm
read
gonna go check
those,
some stuff.
so Peter, you'll have to read them. Too far away from me.
Yeah. Joel Stitzel, Christian Sorzo, Warren Lapworth, Madeline, Jarrett, C.R. Harper, Judy, Alexis Cotildo, Dan Uris, Mac Tubbs, S-True63, Beverly, Brian, Derek, VC, Jay Kenowink, Duck Norris, ST, TJ, Matt, John K, Andy Morgan, Bradley Guerin.
I'm here to relieve you from.
Andy's getting that
I'm gonna
small. He's gonna add
let
into
you
his
rest your
collection.
mouth.
I love
There's
it.
a spider under that part of the couch.
No, that's the Spider Town. There was this huge spider
Please don't
that was
remind me about
before
the spider.
before the stream.
A brown
it's
recluse.
really big.
It was not a brown recluse, but it did look like it had a skull on it. Now that could have just been me being extremely scared, but I could have sworn that there was a skull on this spider. I
mean,
tried
like-
to get it out of the office, but it's gone.
I mean,
It
to be
ran
fair,
away.
we work with a lot of wild stuff here. Most of it's dead already, so it's having live spiders is very exciting.
All right, who did we leave off on?
Bradley is next. You can do that.
Bradley. Yes, Bradley Guerin. I've talked to you before. We've talked. Rebecca Atticote, Graham Bateman. Thank you. Thank you, Shane. R. Thorne, Richard Offer, Josh Dennis. Thank you, Josh Dennis.
That's so great.
Attica, that's a great name.
Walcott, I am watching out for the super spiders. But they are spiders, and so they're small. They could go. Don't. Seriously, don't.
Well, we should put the video on
Gamers
where I got you a
Dojo
box
first-
of spiders for Christmas.
Yeah,
Remember that?
no, we shouldn't play that on the stream for everybody. Please don't, actually. Gamers Dojo, thank you so much for backing. First time backer, super cool. All right, who's next?
I'll do some. How
go
about Matthew McCarran, Morda, Andrew Jocelyn, what?
I'm just laughing.
Lane Miller, Michael Darchi, Christopher Button, J.K. Jones 3, Amy, L. Enver.
We just hit 800.
Thank you so
kidding me?
much.
Yes. We
Wow,
just hit 800.
wow,
That's what
thank
chat
you.
is telling me.
That's amazing.
Harf's Printer, Liam Hall, Andy T, Charlotte's Web.
Charlette's Web.
Charlette's
with a Z.
Web.
Oh, that's very 90s. I love that.
Murray Flock.
Oh, backer number 1. Absolute Keck. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Number 1. Very good. Good job. Got the fast fingers. Very dexterous.
Charbon, Liam Gobert, Brett P88, David Holetz, Adam Bowley, Joseph Thabiel. You gotta do some. I'm embarrassing myself.
Rubber Band Mains, I see you. Number 5, 5th time backing. Number 5, very
Gary
good.
Hansen.
All right, where were we? Gary Hansen. Yes. Orphan Sock, thank you for backing. Matt, thank you. Ariane Sodama, thank you. Again, email me. I will read your name correctly if you want me to. Nicholas Edwardson, thank you. Jerry Stewart, AJWC, thank you. Apollo, is that Apollo? That's so cool. Thank you, Apollo. Thank you, Cisco. Thank you, Wes Davis.
Cisco.
Thank you, Steven Spiegel. Sweet. Thank you. Yeah, you got to have that CC preloaded. Very good.
I love watching all these names because I made the benefactor plate for Mini Museum 1, the microfiche that has everybody's name on it, and so a lot of these names I see, and I actually looked at that today because I sent a picture to an MM1 backer, and I always love looking at that and think about all these people that have been part of what we've done here at Mini Museum for 9 years publicly. This is my 10th year doing Mini Museum, and so, would we cry?
We
Mr.
couldn't do it
Malik-
without you.
Mr. Malik, yes, you will be able to order 2 large museums. It'll be in the post-campaign, and we are going to honor that 24-hour discount.
Yeah, there'll be special. There'll be a special pricing for people who are backing during this period. You can set all that up in Backer Kit. We've done that before, but it's been a couple years since we've done all that, so people may not remember. But we have add-ons after the fact, so if you're going to get another one, you'll get a special pricing. If you were in the tier that had the early bird pricing already, you'll get a special option.
We're
for
also, I'm sure some of you have already checked out the page and checked out all the cool stuff there. Check out those pins; they're super awesome. And I want to get more, so we got to hit that first stretch goal.
What about
we're gonna
those super
have
tiers? The super tiers.
Yeah, let's talk about that in just a second. Yeah,
yeah,
the
way
super
back in.
tiers.
Looks like the page crashed again.
Did the page crash again? Oh my God, Professor Chaos. Did it patch? Oh no, I think they mean that it crashed at the beginning. Yeah.
Oh,
I
right.
gotcha.
Yeah, totally. Okay.
Ooh, actually, that's exciting. That's a good.
I mean, I'm laughing. I mean, it's terrible.
That
but,
means
you know,
Romi's
that's-
got to get back to work.
Yes, Romi's got to get back to work. Romi's at Backer Kit.
Hi, Romy.
Hi, Romy. How
Thank
are
you for all of your help. Seriously.
Yes, she is. She's a
And
team
McKinsey.
member now here too.
Mm-hmm. Shoot, what was I just saying? Oh yes. In the
Special tiers.
yes, in the pledge manager. After the campaign, we're gonna have some stuff that's not in the campaign. There's gonna be more cool stuff.
Oh, that's right.
coming.
We have
Yes,
you know, add-ons, amazing cool add-ons. We have obviously we have the illuminated LED stand is one of the current add-ons in there that you could pop in. But you know us, we're gonna add some cool stuff after the fact.
We should also thank the rest of the Backer Kit team, like everybody at Backer Kit, all the
everybody
Backer
at
Cats. Thank you guys.
They work so hard on this
Maxwell,
campaign.
Palmer, I
Yeah.
believe Anna, Christopher. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
I guess
so
we'll
much.
do that a little bit of that in the little interview section where we'll talk about how we got here on Backer Kit. But let's read some more names, huh?
You are welcome for having your photo in the collage. Yes, I loved everybody's photos. Keep sending them in because I will update the photo collage for you guys. I'll make it bigger.
Thank you to Tresley, Matthew, Adam Bloomfield, Gregory Hubby, Jason Sly, Reed Martin, Crossbot, Trent, Sandon Glokta, John Huxma, Matt, and Insomniac 86, thank you, Louise, Fremnia, Nicolair, David George, Ariel, Wafty Cranker, Leigh Prater, Eloise Whitley, JB, Isabel, Evelyn Frazier, Ian Smith, Lafia, Lissu 2, Kim Reniger, Paul, James Cole, Mike F, Remlap.
All right, I'll take a few more here now
Yeah.
too.
We're getting
Oh,
on
we're
the next
still-
page. Moving to the next page here.
You guys, this is crazy. We're still in the
You
third
guys-
minute of the campaign.
Oh, that's amazing. You read off Bruno's name earlier. Yeah, and Bruno, thank you so much. We had a little interaction on Twitter. I knew you were on the.
Oh,
last-
yes, that's
yeah,
right,
no,
yes.
Bruno's amazing. Yeah.
Super cool. All right, Renee Toombs, thank you. MZ, thank you. Brian, the Lurker, formerly known as Mrs. SD, thank you. Thank you for not being a lurker anymore. Welcome to the Mini Museum family. Send me a picture. Send me a picture of museum. I want to see it. Thank you, Zhangwei. Thank you, Caroline Ofut. Thank you, Vampton. We have 30 pages
of names.
30
Dr.
pages
Chaos
of names
just
so
told
far.
us we had 30 pages of names.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Han. Thank you, Andrea Spiegel. Thank you, Mark Rabe. Thank
Amazing.
you, ZR, Scott DeFay, David Goldman, Marcus. Thank all of you guys. Thank you, Dennis Heron. Thank you, Crystal T. Jurassic Tactics. Awesome. Thank you, Jurassic Tactics.
Incredible.
Where would we be without you? Scott Anderson, thank you. Andrew Koo, thank you. Max Izod, thank you. Cool name. I love it. Mark Zumkeller, thank you. Nate Palmer, thank you. I don't think you guys have named 100 people between 800 and the upcoming 900. No, we have not. We have a lot to go through.
Did we just get to 900 too?
Did we just get to 900?
I
Did
don't
we just
know.
get to 900?
I'm scared to look now.
I don't even want to look. There's so many names. Thank you, Jason Steves. Thank you, Curator. Thank you, Ben Perkins, Sebastian Hagen, Jeff, Stephanie Berry, Mark Farrow. Thank you. Thank you, Wing. Way too much KC for you. Thank you. You can go now. You're welcome. All right, so we're at the 15-minute mark. We're going to take another quick little break. We will get back to thank yous further on in the stream, but we are going to come back and we're going to start talking in depth about the specimens
them.
because I know that's what you guys want to see.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to cut here and we will be right back.
Welcome to the 5th edition of the Mini Museum, a grand collection celebrating life and exploration inspired by our collective journey through space and time. The 5th edition begins with the stellar heart of our solar system, the core of a primitive celestial body formed in the cataclysmic heat and violent aftermath of the sun's ignition. We'll journey from this exuberant beginning more than 4.6 billion years ago to visit our closest neighbors in the cosmos. Here, we will contrast planetary-scale dust storms that last for months with the eternal clarity of the lunar surface. Turning to Earth, we enter a world bathed in fire, a smoldering ocean of magma taking hit after hit of icy comet strikes. Billions of years pass before the first stirrings of life, and then suddenly, it is everywhere. From seas teeming with creatures to the first conquest of land. We will explore it all, from armored fish in the ocean's depths to scrambling creatures covering the surface of our planet. We will expand from here to visit the largest of creatures ever to walk the earth, as well as those who evolved to prey upon their majestic forms. At long last, we will begin our own chapter, starting with a spark of creativity that has infused humanity since the earliest days. We will delve into our fascination with the world before us and soar with a ceaseless desire to explore every vista on the ground and in the skies. We will find conflict too. We will wrestle with these deep questions, with our understanding of history and science, and with each other. We will also celebrate the beauty we create and the dreams we share with the rest of the world, amid the quiet moments we keep only to ourselves. Then we will turn outward to the stars, to which we seem so intent on returning. The 5th edition of the Mini Museum is a massive collection, our most ambitious to date. We are excited to continue the journey together, sharing the love of science and history with the world. Your continued support has made this journey possible, and we are so very grateful.
You hear us now? Good now.
Okay, hello. I left the mic off.
Sorry about that. Why don't you tell them again?
Yes, let me start over again. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. BK Tim, I see you. I see you there in the chat about the bass lines from our BRB screen. That is also from Ellis, our pin designer.
Renaissance man.
Literally a Renaissance man. Bass, music, specimens. He does everything. I love that guy.
He's
And he's so tall. Yeah, he's very handsome. He's very tall, right?
He's
Anyway.
normal height. Anyway,
Yes. Okay. So we said we were going to do a deep dive. It's time for that deep dive.
yes.
So we already went through all of these specimens here. Snarky Company, hi, hello. Oh, it's good to see you here. All right. We already went through all the names of the specimens, but now we're going to go a little bit more in depth. We're going to go through, I think, the first 10 on this segment here.
And then we'll take a break. Max and I did the majority of the writing and the research on these, so we just want to go in depth, hit some bullet points, and kind of give you some deeper information on the stuff that we gave the quick overview on.
Yep. So we're going to start with number 1. Peter, what's the first specimen in the Mini Museum?
Number 1, as you probably remember, Stellar Heart, and this is Muanoanalusta. This is a meteorite that crashed 1 million years ago in Sweden. But what's so interesting about this meteorite is that it retains material from the very beginning of the solar system, when it was just what's called a protoplanetary disk of gas and dust. 4,565,300,000 years old.
Wow.
Yes, all meteorites, or a lot of them, have material from the very beginning of the solar system. This is one of the oldest ones that is known. And what it's really known for is the Wittgenstein pattern. Maybe you can tell them about that.
Yes, so this pattern, which I'm not going to try to pronounce because my German is not very good.
Ellis, why don't you come over so you can pronounce it properly for us? Ellis, apparently, we just found out, knows all about this, so just give him the word real quick.
Oh my gosh, all about this. All right, so they're called Wittgenstein patterns.
Wittgenstein.
And supposedly, I think this is. I'm pretty sure this is right. It's because of the part of that meteorite is the part of the core, which is the center, which is mostly iron and a little bit of zinc, and nickel. And the reason the patterns come up like that are because of the
I'm waiting.
are because of the concentration of zinc.
It's the slow cooling off.
Stop
Oh right, but
distracting
the
him.
only reason from my knowledge, sorry, I'm stuttering. From my knowledge, the Wittgenstein patterns are part of the reason that we know that meteorites are not from Earth is because for those patterns to form, it takes longer than the Earth has existed. Jamie's giving me a thumbs up.
I see
So-
Dana Snyder on the stream. Is that the Dana Snyder? I think it is. If it is, hello.
I
Hey there.
see someone saying they're having trouble hearing. Is anyone else having
Yeah,
volume
do we
troubles?
have volume issues here? Can anybody in chat
Just
let us
sound
know?
off in the chat if everything sounds good or if it sounds bad.
Let's see. Okay, we're getting goods. We're getting goods.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Sorry if you're having any trouble, but
Cool. All right, let's keep going.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Alice.
yeah,
Alice.
absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
And what's cool about this specimen, and what we try to do with a lot of specimens, is that it's kind of two things in one, right? It is not just a meteorite, but it's something bigger than that. It's material from the very beginning of the solar system, and that's why we wanted to open the museum with it.
Exactly, yes. So it's the meteorite and it's the beginning of the solar system.
Get that clicker over in
I
the
stole
middle.
the clicker from Peter.
Put it in the middle.
All right, next up we have the Martian dust storm. This is the second specimen in the 5th edition. This is another exclusive specimen, or the first exclusive specimen. So
Yes.
if you like this specimen, if you like Mars, back the campaign. It will not be in the post-campaign edition of the 5th edition. This is a Shergotite. It's a Martian meteorite, specifically NWA 7397. So Mars is an interesting planet. We sent one of the first orbiters there, Mariner 9, back in 1971. And when it arrived, it was not able to take photos for months because it was covered in a planet-wide dust storm. This is not something you see on Earth. I mean, we get dust storms here on Earth, but not planet-wide.
Yes, they're so powerful because there's no liquid water, or at least very little liquid water on Mars. There's nothing to kind of keep the sediment and the dust down, and so it'll just swirl around and sometimes cover the entire planet. And the lack of atmosphere on the planet means that the wind cannot get that high. It
Oh, look at that. We just hit 300,000.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. That's awesome. We are so close to our goal. This is awesome. All right.
Thank you so much. And we're only on the second specimen. Let's keep this going.
Keep going. Yes. So as you can see in this little video we've got here, that on the left is Mars normally without a dust storm, and on the right you can see totally covered, like looks like a totally different planet. It's crazy. All right, let's go next.
Yes. Number 3, this is a Starry Night. This is a lunar meteorite. So that was a Martian meteorite, and this is lunar meteorite. And it's the same principle. It's material from the moon that when a meteorite strikes the lunar surface, if it's hard enough, surface material from the moon will get ejected out, become its own meteors, and then sometimes fall to Earth. This has been happening for eons, but it was only confirmed to exist to us in 1982, when a meteorite found in Antarctica was found to be very similar to rocks that were taken back to Earth during the Apollo missions.
Mm-hmm.
And this specific one is NWA 13951 from Mauritania, found in 2021.
Which is a long name, but it's got a cool nickname. They call it the Starry Night Meteorite. And the reason they call it that,
Yes, please.
as you can see here, it's got this very dark plagioclast, pyroxene, and olivine background with these tiny iron-nickel inclusions that give it that white-gray sparkle. So it kind of looks like a painting of the night sky, which is a little telling, too, as where its origin is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the next one, number 4.
Next up, we're going to Earth. We're getting out of the solar system a little bit and coming down to the home planet, except it's not exactly the Earth you might be familiar with. This is the magma ocean. It is a geologic material from the Isua Greenstone Belt. About 3.6 billion years ago, during the Archean period, Earth was covered in these liquid molten lakes and oceans and such. And this material cooled, and eventually it was remelted again in volcanoes or crushed and metamorphized into other rock. But the Isua Greenstone Belt in southwestern Greenland actually has that same material that has basically survived the geologic processes for 3.6 billion years. We've actually got a piece of it over here, too.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you grab
Yes.
Well, that's what's so cool about it, is that it's material that in most other places on the Earth, it was just got remelted and it's lost. But this gives us an insight on what that period of Earth looked like. I mean, this predates even plate tectonics. This stuff is old. I mean, it was when it was hell on Earth, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so we start to see sort of the beginnings of our planet with this specimen.
So eventually it cools down a little bit, and we get our next specimen.
Yes, number 5, a Cauldron of Life.
I think you've got a piece of it over there, too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's heavy. And dirty. Deep sea hydrothermal vents. Can you take that?
I can hold this for you, yeah. I will make you do both.
And it's often speculated that life may have originated around these deep sea vents that sort of nurtured basic microbes into becoming advanced life. So the last specimen, that's our planet starting, and this is life starting. This material is mineral deposits from the Kidd Creek mine in Ontario, which are actually really interesting because it's found that those vents in the mine still support like a sealed biosphere of life that kind of mimics how life may have started in the first place. And well, why don't you tell them about Europa?
Yes, so there are other places that we expect we can find these hydrothermal vents, not just on Earth, but on other planets and other moons. Specifically, as Peter said, the Jovian moon of Europa. The Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, which launched a couple weeks ago, is on its way to Jupiter. It's going to take about 8 years to get there. Mm-hmm. But once it does get there, we'll be able to see more of what's going on there.
You think they're going to find aliens?
I don't know, and I don't know if I want them to or not.
And we should say this is something we wrote about recently on the article page, and we try to keep people up to date with goings on. So there's not going to be a lot of information on juice for a while. You got to wait like 8 years, but check that page out for some other information.
Mm-hmm. Oh, real quick, I do want to talk about this very shortly,
yes,
about some of the more modern history specimens in here. There's been some call-outs. It's a lot of like U.S. history stuff, and there is a reason for that. So the past couple years, we've been in the middle of the pandemic and things like that. So a lot of the material we have here, it's still amazing stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot of this is stuff we could get easier. International shipping, trying to bring things around, became very difficult for a period of time. Mm-hmm. So this is what we pulled up there. Oh my God, we just hit 1,000 backers. Look at that.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys. 1,000 people. 1,000 people are excited for that. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I am worth 1,000 people, I think. My excitement levels are.
My heart's going to explode.
Mm-hmm. But you guys are really bringing the thunder. Now we're at 1,001. I'm not worth that. I stopped at 1,000.
How about you tell them about the next one, number 6?
Yes, number 6, we've got the rough ruby. This is a 500 to 600 million year old gemstone. It's the gemstone in Mini Museum 5. We've always got one of them. Brings a nice pop of color, and it's a great way for me to talk about geology, which I love. The ruby is actually rarer and more durable than a diamond. And I think it's a little bit prettier. It's got some color to it, which diamonds do not have. So
It's a nice part. But also, with gemstones like this, they tell us a lot about geological processes, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly. So the rough ruby tells us when the mountain ranges it's found in were formed. Places like African and the Himalayan mountain ranges, they were being developed at the same time that this ruby was. But let me ask you this. How does ruby develop?
Well, what's interesting and what we've talked about because it's I don't know. I think maybe we had a little trouble coming up with the story of this one. You know, it's not Amelia Earhart's plane. So we were thinking, well, what can we say about ruby? And what you had said multiple times is that we think of these gems as being expressions of very pure geological processes, but that's not really the case. They form out of impurities. Ruby's case, aluminum-rich rocks transform into ultra-hard corundum, but with certain impurities. That's how rubies come about. So it really tells us a lot about, as you've said, how these mountain ranges form in the Himalayas and in Africa, where ours is from, Mozambique. So
it's something I find really interesting about these colorful gemstones, and it's not just ruby. It's actually a lot of colorful gemstones. Is we think of them as these pure and beautiful stones, and they are very beautiful, but they aren't pure. They're made out of chemical impurities. So if you didn't have a little bit of a mix-up somewhere in the formula, you wouldn't get something as awesome as this, and I love that.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to the next one. Number.
What are we looking at? What's the cutoff number for the Grand Collection? Yes. Okay. So for the Grand Collection, we're going to do 34 specimens. 34 specimens. That's going to be in the full campaign edition. Post-campaign, there are going to be 29. As far as how many museums we're going to have, we've got. We're going to see how many backers we get, basically. We've got enough material to probably keep going through the entire run of campaign backers. If we get to a certain point where we start to lose something, we will let everybody know. We might have to close down some pledges or something, but I do not worry about that. Especially if you're in the first 24 hours, it's going to be awesome. And make sure you back in that first 24 hours for the early bird.
Yeah,
the number of the pledge for the museum. All right, Anthrax Omega. No, so the pledge number that you did is not going to match the museum that you get. Part of this is because we have to keep a couple of museums back, just in case something happens and we need some replacements, or if there's issues with the processing and a museum has a defect or something like that, we hold that back just to make sure that everyone gets a perfect mini museum, which means that when we laser etch these ones, because we can't make them again, like if we have a defect or a museum goes missing in shipping, we can't just print another one because they're all numbered. So because of that, we don't match them directly to the backer number.
And speaking of exclusives, exclusive museum, this is number 7, Conquest of Land. And these are the first land plants, and this is another exclusive specimen. These show up at the end of the Ordovician period, about 450 million years ago. And they make the jump to land, and like all life, start competing with each other, fighting for sunlight, who can grow the tallest and photosynthesize the most. And they almost terraform the environment, sucking in all the carbon dioxide and actually lowering the global temperature and contributing to the late Devonian period extinction. And the specific plant that some of the museums will have, some of the material, is Cooksonia, right?
Yes, so this is the one that we're doing our deep dive in the companion guide about, is Cooksonia. I think we've got a picture of it up on screen, or we can get a picture of it. It's this odd-looking little plant. It doesn't have leaves. It's too early for that, but it does have these vegetal protrusions on the top there. What we know about Cooksonia is it was one of the first plants to have to deal with gravity. Before Cooksonia and before land plants, they would be underwater, and gravity didn't have as much of an effect there. But once they come on land, they have to start producing this water byproduct called lignin, which allows them to strengthen their stems and build a vascular system that can pump water around in them.
And this is the pin that we talked about
Yes,
earlier?
this is also one of the pins that Ellis designed for us, if we can get the image of that on there too. So if you're interested in getting a cool pin about a cool plant, make sure you add that as an add-on to your pledge, and you'll be able to select from that. There's also a 3-pin set, and if you get the 3-pin set, you'll be able to select all 3 pins, that's good.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you, Alice.
Everyone say thank you, Alice.
Everyone say thank you, Alice.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
He says you're welcome.
All right.
Number 5.
Number 8.
Oh, my
This is number
word.
8.
Number
Yeah.
8.
All right, next up we have Dunkleosteus. This is the big fish, the big tank of a water creature.
The one that you're supposed to vote for.
Well, yes, Dunkleosteus. It is a placoderm, which is a type of armored fish. It first appears in the fossil record during the Devonian period, about 420 million years ago. It's known for its massive bony skull. We can get a picture of it here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's an incredible looking thing. I mean, that's the fossil with, the weird little eyes and the teeth and all that. That's how we know them. I can't imagine how terrifying it would be to just dig up one of these looking right at you.
No.
As you see, it's got these, it looks like teeth, but it's not really. It's actually bony protrusions from their jaws, but they act like teeth. They crush through ammonite shells. Also, when this thing opens its mouth, it can create a vacuum suction zone in the water to suck things towards its mouth and then slam down. Terrifying.
Its bite force would
Oh, here's the pin. Here's the pin. Let's see the pin.
yeah.
Yes. So this is the pin designed by Christian Baldos, colored by Ellis Nolan. I love this thing. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, looks great.
All right, tell me about the bite force. How strong is it?
It's calculated at 5,300 newtons, and it takes about 4,000 to break a human femur, our strongest bone. So it's a good thing these things died out.
Yes. Crunch. All right.
Vote for Dunkleosteus.
Dunkleosteus.
Dunkleosteus. Another quarter in the mispronunciation jar.
Yes, we really should have gotten a jar. Wouldn't that be great? The ASMR of throwing quarters into a jar on stream. Okay, number 9. This is yours. I'm not gonna say this. You go ahead.
Number 9. This is Permian bones. These are bones, naturally, from the Permian period, 300 million to 250 million years ago. This is when the Earth's terrain is transitioning from more swampy areas into a more arid terrain. And this is the rise of early terrestrial vertebrates, amniotes, synapsids, which are the ancestors to mammals. And,
Even though they didn't really look like mammals, but they are the ancestors to them.
yes, and ceropsids, which become reptiles.
Speaking of being ancestors to mammals, it's a common question around the office. How would you milk a Dimetrodon?
We've not figured it out.
So if you have answers, let us know.
And
Oh, yes, Mighty Rival. Why did we skip Dinosaur in the Mini Museum series numbering? Good question. Okay, so Mini Museums 1 through 4 are all grand collections. They are, they contain specimens from all across time, all these different places, outer space, modern history, all of this stuff. Mini Museum Dinosaurs was an awesome little diversion just to talk about dinosaurs. So we felt it would probably be best to have it be its own thing because we know we've got a lot of collectors out there because it's a collector product, right? But if you're not super into dinosaurs, if that's not your thing, we still want you to be able to have the full numbered set of stuff. So, I mean, if you like dinosaurs, go check it out. But if you want 1 through 5, you can skip dinos, even though you shouldn't because dinos rule.
Speaking of bones, what we're really excited about with the Permian bone is that the specimen in your mini museum will actually be a visible bone because these creatures are very small. So, yeah, I think we have that up.
Yes. Oh, God. This specimen is so cool. Yes, this is my favorite part about this. As you can see there's a jawbone. You can see the little teeth. The one on the right, those are little vertebra. Super cool. We also have some where you can see like the actual shape of the bone in them. We haven't yet decided which one we're going to use in all the different editions of the mini museum. That might actually be a backer question that we ask you guys. Which ones you guys like more? All of them. We're gonna use all of them.
Yeah.
Well, we will use all of them.
There's another question. Mighty Rival, if you want
Yes,
to
Mighty Rival. Just to answer your question real quick, will we have other special editions? The answer is yes. We are planning on doing one for Oceans, and then we have a couple other secret ones.
Keep that under your hat, though. Don't tell anyone, guys.
This is just an exclusive. No, we had a whole email about it. Yes. So these Permian bone pieces, they come from the Richard Spur Quarry near Lawton, Oklahoma, and they come in these cool fossil matrix clumps where you can like wash out and find all the little bones. It's super awesome. One of our specimen technicians, Clay, they did a fantastic job of organizing all of these bones. They checked them all, and they were like, okay, this one's a jawbone, this one is a little like leg bone.
I sorted for like 10 minutes, and it was too much.
Yes. We had this beautiful tome of the lower Permian vertebra fauna of Waurika, Oklahoma by Kieran Davis, who is kind of an expert in the Permian period. And they would go through and actually, as you can see, look through, see all the bones, identify everything. They did a fantastic job.
Let's jump to the next one. Our final bit for this segment.
Yes. Oh, this is my favorite specimen. This is the coelacanth. This is the living fossil, which is a special little name, little surprise. Oh, here comes Grant with it right now.
I don't want to sit on your clicker.
Please sit down. Yes. Coelacanth. I love it. So this is another Mini Museum 5 campaign exclusive. So if you are into coelacanth, like I am, you've got to back the campaign. That's the only way you'll be able to get this piece. The coelacanth appears around the same time as the Dunkleosteus does. In the Devonian. They had electroreceptive hunting behavior, so they could detect things like deep underwater. As Jamie mentioned earlier, they could hang upside down. They were pretty strange creatures, and we were pretty sure they went extinct around the time of the dinosaurs. We thought, oh, that wiped them out. We've just got fossils of them now, but something happened that changed our perception of them. Isn't that right?
Well, this is why it is sometimes called the living fossil, that it was thought killed at the end of the Cretaceous. But in 1938, paleontologist Marjorie Courtney Latimer spotted in just a local fisherman's catch not living then, but a contemporary coelacanth. That it turns out it had survived. And what's so interesting about coelacanth, what's called living fossils, is that there are not that many evolutionary changes that we see between that fish and those from millions and millions of years ago. That's how effective this electroreceptive hunting technique was, that it was still able to flourish across all that time.
I mean, can you imagine that? You see this fish, you know this fish from fossils, and then it just comes up a living blue fish in a fishing net. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
This is also one of the pins that we have designed. Carrie Allison of Aspen Hearted did the design for this one. This beautiful blue fish. And we also have a golden coelacanth pin that we're going to release at $1 million. Again, this golden coelacanth pin is going to be a special campaign-only pin. We're going to throw it into every backer. Everyone's going to get a free pin, which is super awesome. So tell your friends. Tell them you want to get to $1 million. Tell them you want this golden coelacanth pin, because I want this golden coelacanth pin.
It looks beautiful.
I want it so bad. All right. So next, we're going to talk about some dinosaurs. But before that, we're going to take a really short break. And Jamie's going to come on. We're going to talk a bit about the story of Mini Museum 5. We're going to show off the prototype. And we're also going to talk about our educational donation program for this campaign. So we will be right back. If you are just joining us, go back to the campaign page. The link is in the description. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
See you, folks.
everybody, welcome back. I'm Max. If you're just joining us, I'm Max. I've got our co-founder here and
Jamie.
our co-owner, Jamie. We are live on BackerKit right now. I think we crashed the site earlier, but it is back. So
Wait, let's crash it again.
yes, let's do it again. If you just joined, the link in the description will take you to the campaign page, and you can go back. There's a 24-hour early bird discount, so get in there as soon as you can. Don't miss that discount. The campaign's going to go throughout the full month, and it was a pretty awesome museum. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. We're going to talk about the prototyping process here. And I actually have a prototype here. Now, you can see it's not a case in acrylic. This is a prototype here, and it has all the specimens on it, which we'll take up. I think, Max, you're going to take this up and show it close on the mic so people can see the angle on it. It's on a companion guide right now, which is actually how you display a mini museum. And what you're seeing there is what we call the grid. And we're not, did we get it right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to
put
put it in the big thing over there, yeah. So the grid is how we lay out all the specimens. We look at the color, we look at the shapes, the textures, we see how the text fits in. So what you're looking at is a live prototype. And then what we do is we take that, and then we have a clear acrylic block like that, and we take that guy, and we put that on there, and that's how we do our photographs for this part of the process. And then we send those off. But, this is for the post-pandemic world that we're living in here, this is also kind of a bit of an adventure, too, because we have part of the process is, of course, getting a prototype made and all that, and we have to make a commitment, a larger commitment than we've made before to our partners. Making specimens is never a problem because we do all that here, but then we have to secure production line time, both for the acrylic process, for books and packaging, and we have raw materials, and so we have to make a bigger commitment. It's one of the reasons we're asking for $500,000 on this campaign, which is, sorry, I'm speaking a little bit fast, but that's one of the reasons we're asking for $500,000 on this campaign, because we have to make that many in order to do this project. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're trying to do here. But that's how, it came back to me here. So this is how we do it. And then we lay it out here, and then we say, okay, well, does it look good? Do we want this in a different spot? Does the text look right? Should it have less text, more text? This is going to be a challenging museum to make, actually. When
34 specimens. It's a lot. There's a lot of pieces. There's a lot of text.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of room to float. So, as you know, they can shift a little bit in their spots. And so this will be a very challenging museum to make. It's one of the reasons there's going to be, obviously the backer exclusives are a thank you to all of you. But post-campaign, 29 will be the number. It'll be a little bit easier to produce.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Big Tong just asked an excellent question. Why do we go from Kickstarter to BackerKit? Just interested.
Oh, that's great.
That's
a great question.
I can say what you're seeing right now here on the stream, this is possible because of our awesome relationship with BackerKit. They prepared this stream technology so we can be on the campaign page and talk to you guys at the same time. They did this. They kind of helped us out the whole way. It was a really nice, kind of like a white glove service. So thank you, BackerCats. Really appreciate it.
The BackerCats, right? That's their name. So the BackerCats. But yeah, it was an easy decision for us to make when they announced this new platform. We'd been with Kickstarter for a long time. We love Kickstarter. And then BackerKit said, hey, we're going to be doing this thing. Would you be interested? And we've used BackerKit for every single campaign we've ever done. They handle the bulk of the things post-campaign. And you all know that because you've backed campaigns before. And they're just so deeply involved from a creator perspective. I was like, let's just try that and see what that looks like. And it's been fantastic so far. So if there are other creators here listening on the stream and you're thinking about it, I say give it a hard look and take a good look at it.
Yeah, check out the mini museum page. We've done a lot of stuff with BackerKit on there.
There's so many cool things about it. And the back end side of things, which we're not really talking about here, but setting up the project, so much more flexibility. It allowed us to do things that we could have never done. You see the project page is like 10 miles long. I can tell you right now, I couldn't have done that on setting all that up. We couldn't have done all that, setting that up on Kickstarter. Just don't have that much room inside their tool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is just a better fit for us
this
overall.
Page is huge.
Super excited about
Very
it.
big.
Yeah, it's big.
That's possible because
crushing
of
their
BackerKit.
servers
Yeah.
right now.
All right.
Oh.
We've also got the small here. Can we show off the
Yeah,
the
you want to
small?
show the small up there?
Yeah.
Here,
Grant, do you want to put this under the hand
let's
cam?
move one here, the other, and then we can put this over here.
Grant's
That's
going to
the
run that over to
small.
the hand cam.
And you'll see that there's a different piece of the 747 in there in the small. And then we can also take a look at this. Somebody asked the question earlier about the Permian bones, or maybe that was Max just kind of riffing on it. But when Grant's done showing the small there, we can give you a look at what the little Permian bones, all the different ones look like. Grant, you want to bring that one back over here when you're done? And then we'll give you this one here. Put that slide on there. There you go.
I
Put
love
that
the
one on
Permian
there.
bones.
They're
They're
so
awesome.
cool. If we get lucky,
Take a
we'll
look
be
at
able
this,
to
folks.
see them. Andre Lujan is where we is the gentleman that we get those from. He's a paleontologist in Texas. He runs a museum called Texas Through Time. He's also the president of the Applied Paleontological Association of America. No, it's association because it's global. He's an amazing guy. We get the Permian bone specimen from him. We also get the Alamosaurus specimen from two different formations.
Is the Permian on the screen right now?
Yeah. Okay. Great. So yeah, the Permian bones are on there. You could see the little teeth.
No, bring
and
it back. Bring
the
it back.
vertebrae.
Put it back on there. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we talk about it. Sorry, I was just kind of blabbing along. These guys were so great. They have like a script and they have it on the screen over here, and then they call me to come over here. And
Well,
they're
we
like,
didn't
okay,
write you
well,
a script.
Well, no, because you can't script me. That's the problem. Like, oh, okay, great. Here's the script. All right, I can't even read it. It's too far away from me. I'm so old.
So you can see there, those are all the different Permian bones on there. I believe there's some jawbone on there. There's some
There's
limb
jawbone, there's
fossils.
a vertebrae, there are limbs, there are ribs on there, and every single one of those is a single bone.
They're visible. Like, you can
Super
tell just
cool.
by looking, and when you put them in the acrylic, you'll be able to tell, like, oh, that's a bone.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about those Permian bones, too, when we get into talking about the tiers, right?
Yes,
yeah,
we have
so
some special tiers
save
for the
a little
Permian
bit of
bone
information
stuff. Very
about
cool.
that.
We've actually, 2 of those special tiers have already gone.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
if you did get
how
one of those
about that?
special tiers, keep sticking around. We're going to show
We're
off
going to
some
show
of those
off your
items in there.
stuff. We're going to let everybody see your stuff. Where's that pouch at, by the way? We're talking about production
Yes.
stuff, right? Oh, yeah, the yellow pouch, the gold pouch here. It's really beautiful. It's going to have the embossed logo, just like every other edition that we've produced. Gold is our main color for MM5. And thank you, Grant. I appreciate that. You just brought back our little Permian bones over here. So that's the large pouch. And, of course, we have a small here, too. And
Drive
both of
safe way
those.
too much. Drive safe.
Oh, somebody's leaving. Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, no, they're listening from the car.
Oh, they're listening in the car. Oh, well, be careful.
Don't watch from the car. Just listen.
Or just roll the window down and shout out to people to go to Mini Museum, okay? Oh, we've got Grant's going through. He's running through. What are we going to do
You're
next?
showing things.
Oh, yeah, let's look at the
We don't-
touch.
We don't talk
Well,
about this enough, and I like it a lot.
Right. So this is the touch. Everybody likes to see the touch. If hopefully we're not zooming in too close here because the labels are not accurate. The specimens are accurate, but the labels are not. But yeah, so this is what the touch looks like. It's 14 inches by 7 inches. It's a glass top Riker case, and inside you have the acrylic specimen jars that are on the inside there, and the lids come off, and you can touch the specimens, put them under a microscope. There are a couple people that we get pictures from on the regular that do microscope photography, and look at the specimens. So, yep, this is what the touch looks like. It's super awesome. You can also get it with the collector's set. It comes with that too. You can add it on after the campaign. It's a really neat thing to just kind of look at, and I'm staring at it right now instead of looking at the camera, but it's a really great thing to look at and explore, not just for yourself, but for kids, even though it's not a toy. That's always an important point, is that there are things that are sharp in here and things that are very small and can get lost, so you got to be really careful with it. But people who back the touch love the touch. I love the touch because it's super cool.
K.A. Clement,
Thanks, Grant.
just to answer your question, we can't go super in depth
you.
about future specimens in many museums, but I can say yes, consideration towards like sports and movie and that sort of memorabilia, that is something that we are always looking for.
Oh, always looking for
Mini
that.
Museum 2 has a piece of the crate dragon in it, which is also, you can get that
Pop
as a single
culture.
specimen on
Yep.
the site right now.
We've had Pele's personal football. We've had
Muhammad Ali
Muhammad
punching
Ali
bag.
punching bag.
Yes.
But yes, doing more things from the world of sports is definitely on the roadmap. And we had the question That's the same question.
Yes,
Okay,
I
good.
am actually excited about Woodstock being in here because
So
that's
cool.
music. That's classic rock.
Shout out to the folks at Piece of Stage. They're the ones that own the Woodstock stage. It's actually in the Smithsonian. We're here in the D.C. area, so we can go down to the Smithsonian and see it in the American History Museum. I think you should check. Don't just run in there and say, Jamie said you can jump up and down on it. But I think they have it where you can actually stand on it. Has anybody been down there yet? I haven't been down there yet myself. Been too busy working on this, but I want to go see it. But it's down there in the Smithsonian right now. It's just an amazing piece. And when you're, a little bit older like me, Woodstock means something a little bit different. I mean, I'm not old enough to have been at Woodstock. Well, maybe not technically, but no, I'm not. But that period of time is really important to me musically, and having the stage there is really powerful.
Yeah. All right, let's talk real quick about some of these pin designs. I want to get back to that super fast. So for the Mini Museum 5 campaign, we've got 3 pin designs that we already have. It is Cooksonia, Dunkleosteus, and what was the third one? Coelacanth. Yes, my favorite, which how could I forget? Mm-hmm. So we can circle through those on the stream here real quick. We want to show off those designs. These 3 pins are going to be available right now as add-ons. So you can go and you can get 1 pin, or you can get the 3-pin set. In the Pledge Manager, you'll be able to pick which pin you actually want, or if you want all 3 of them, you can pick all 3 of them, which is the best deal, I think. We are also, as we progress through stretch goals, we're going to be unlocking some more pins from guest artists. And we can talk about that a little bit more later.
That's cool.
We've got some awesome artists lined up. A lot of them are, people who work with BackerKit, because again, it's like
And just people in the
crowdfunding
crowdfunding community. I mean, a lot of the pin designers and those types of artists are working in that community, and that's what we're about too. So we've backed a ton of campaigns over the years, and being able to integrate some of those folks into the mini museum process has been really fun and rewarding. Just seeing cool art from the outside is just, it's great.
Yeah, and this is something we've wanted to do for a while, is doing like interesting art pieces about specimens and about history, getting some cool paleo art stuff in there. Like, who doesn't love it? Right? I want more dinosaur pins. I want more history pins. I want that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So we're going to make it happen.
I'm loving every minute of it.
Mm-hmm. Let's also talk about the educational donation program.
This is my favorite, so this is near and dear to my heart. The educational donation program, as folks know, has been around since the very beginning. We set aside a number of mini museums out of every run, and then we also use ones that don't pass our QA process. We put those into the pool for educators, and we've sent a lot of those out. We cover all the costs for that. And for Mini Museum 5, we wanted to do something a little bit different to kind of raise the visibility of it and tie it directly into your pledges. And so we have a number where it's 1 out of every, 30?
For every 30 large pledges that are backed,
right,
we will add a educational addition to the pool.
Correct, yeah.
And if you know a teacher, if you are a teacher or professor, an educator of any kind.
Anyone who really works with children, I mean, that's the important thing, is we're talking about education, we're talking about the mission of Mini Museum, which is sharing a love of science and history with the world, connecting all of us through this amazing, object that has, billions of years of history in it. I've done school presentations before, so where I take in actual specimens, and I've got like a piece of the moon, I've got a piece of Mars, I've got dinosaur bones, and a mini museum, and like kids, you can come up here and you can touch Mars. You literally can put your fingers on Mars. What are they going to do? They look at the mini museum. They love it, and I'm really not. That's not hyperbole. They really do. And so when you go and you talk about these things in person, and you see the love and the excitement that all children have for this, it's near and dear to my heart. I used to work for Highlights for Children a long time ago, the large American children's magazine. So again, children's literacy and just being interested in the world is really close to my heart.
Yeah, so this is an awesome way for us to give back to that educator community, to make sure that they get like cool stuff that they can share with kids and help inspire kids, help inspire the next generation of historians and scientists and creatives.
So the educator tier, though,
yes.
There is an educator tier. You can back it for $1. What that does is get your name in the pool. We'll go down through in order, and those are the folks that will be getting their educational mini museums. They're going to be stamped differently, educational edition.
Yes, they will be unnumbered. It will say educational edition on them. Like Jamie said, it's going to be a first come, first serve type deal. So if you are a teacher, if you are a professor, go hit that pledge level at the $1 tier.
Yeah.
Every educator will get a free PDF version of the companion guide.
Yeah.
So that will
and
be...
any other digital rewards we create that we haven't listed them all yet. We
Yes.
might throw more stuff in there.
So
for
you
fun.
will get access to that, and
Yep.
you'll also be put into the pool on a first come, first serve basis. And
Yeah.
again, 1 out of every 30 museums. Every time we hit 30 large museums, we're going to add another one to the pool.
Ding.
There's also an add-on for it. So if you're super into it, you can go into the add-on section and check the Educator Hero. There's going to be a discounted amount there. You will be able to send a museum to a school with that tier.
Yep, we'll split it for you, and that's another thing that you can do.
Yep.
What does that say? Digital
Wastelander.
versions of
Yes,
the
there are
previous
digital
companion-
versions of the previous companion guides. They're on our website. If you're looking for one, you
They
can...
are on our website. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're looking for one, you can go there and you can search it up, or you can email us, service@minimuseum.com, and I'll be able to get you...
I love it when he says
of
"search it up." That's just my favorite little vernacular thing that he does.
It's very funny. All right, so educational edition. Is there anything else we should talk about with that?
No, but thank you. I mean, that's the biggest thing is thank you for those of you who work with children. I did a lot of work when this one was in school, and the other one who's running the comms for us right now. I worked in the schools quite a bit. I love what you do, and it's the hardest thing to work with children, and especially in this environment, which we won't go into all that. But the reality is that you're doing really important work. This is about the future. So
I guess
thank you.
There is one more thing we should say.
Oh.
This tier, the $1 educational tier, obviously it is intended for educators.
Yeah, well, we're gonna check.
Yes, so we're going to check after you pledge at some point, either during the campaign or right after the campaign. We're going to send you an email. It's not going to be crazy. It's just...
No, we do this. We already do
Yes.
this, and it's we just check to make sure you're
check to make sure the
actually
school
an
is real,
educator.
check to make sure the position is real, all
Yeah.
that stuff, just to make sure that nobody's trying to game the system.
Yeah,
there.
it's not complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Super easy.
We chill about it.
Yeah.
But if you do back and you're not an educator, we are going to boot you. So don't do that.
Put the hammer down. Wow. Okay. Let's. What do we got next? What's our next thing?
Let's see. I don't know. We can take some questions. We got a couple more minutes here for this segment. So if anybody's got
We were
questions,
talking about
stuff-
Dunkelosseus earlier. Boy, you guys were really into that.
Yeah. Can somebody go and see what's the poll at right now?
What's a
Dunkelosseus versus
Dunkelosseus poll
coelacanth.
at?
Someone let us know.
As a side note, while we're looking up that information, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, which is right in the middle of a Devonian formation there. The limestone and the shales there, which is Dunkelosseus is also the state fish or state fossil, of Ohio. So that one's close to my heart. We're probably going to talk a little bit about Chunkelosseus too in the companion guide, which is there's some new research about what's the shape of this fish actually look like, and somebody was calling it Chunkelosseus.
Yeah, it
which
got
is pretty
shorter.
Funny. Yeah, it got shorter, but also fatter. So
Clams Mackenzie, thank you
Yep.
Mackenzie, telling me that coelacanth is at 62%.
right
Keep it up.
on, right on.
It looks like Beaton292 has asked, what years were you working at Highlights?
So I was at Highlights until 2009. So from 2001, 2002. That's a long time ago. I feel so old.
It's okay.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I worked there. I also worked at CompuServe before that. Like I said, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Those are both Columbus companies, and then I moved here to the DC area to work at ThinkGeek, which most everyone here worked there, and that's how a lot of us met.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool story.
Oh, somebody said they grew up in Ohio.
Oh yeah, Jason.
Columbus. Oh yeah,
Jason, who's doing one of the pin designs
went
for
to
us. at one of
OU.
the,
All
guest
right,
tiers.
right on. Nice.
Happy to see it. Did you work on the spot the difference pages at all?
No, I did not work on that, that or hidden pictures. No, I was actually the head of e-commerce for Highlights for Children. I worked in the business office, but I did spend a lot of time also working with the kids site that we had at that time back then in those days. But I spent a lot of time working in Honesdale with those folks, the editorial team, and. That's another one of those things where how does the educational donation program get started? Well, it highlights what was important to me about the mission of what I was doing every day in the business office was supporting the the mission of the folks who were creating this amazing magazine for children. And so that's the same thing that we kind of tie in here. What is this other one we only heard about?
Chrysalisk. Thank
Sorry,
you.
I hope that answers your question.
Thank you for your backing, whether it's your first time or your sixth time if you've done them all. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Super awesome. You get to be a
Welcome
part
to
of
the
this journey
club.
with us.
How do you determine if a specimen can get
Oh,
shaped?
yes, that's a good question. So, how do you determine if we can shape a specimen, do something interesting in it, like for instance, Dracula's soil as a coffin,
That
or
takes a lot of thought
the
and
swords
time.
that we did? Yeah, it's difficult.
Well, that comes back to this whole, this whole question of the grid, right? So we had the score just showed up here, but this whole question of the grid, and we're like, okay, well, is it just going to be another interesting rock shape, or can we do something a little bit different with it? So part of that's experimentation. We are, I like to say, and I'm proudly saying, I think we have Jen is on the stream here too in the comments. We do things with resin that nobody does. And because we've been doing it for a long time, we have made a lot of really interesting things with resin. So that's kind of, it's experimentation. What does it look like? How does it feel like? Is it iconic? Does it feel like the specimen? In this one we have the 747. That particular piece, we're going to try to shape them like little tails as best we can. It takes a lot of work, and that's one of the reasons, it takes a long time to make these specimens. You don't just cut them up. There's a lot of precision work that goes into each and every one.
So we should say, specifically, so the hero image of the mini museum, you can see all the specimens in there. It's possible some of those specimen designs, as we play around with them, it's possible some of them might get something a little bit different. It'll be the same specimen, same material, but
we'll have to play.
Yes.
Everest rope is a good example of that. It's a rope. There's fibers. So that can cause some challenges. We probably have to coat that guy in resin a little bit. So it might look a little bit different. But yeah, so we're trying our best to keep it looking as much like the prototype as possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got another question here. If you choose to back the touch edition on the first round, but you want to get a large acrylic version later on, yes, that is possible. So when we do the pledge manager, we will open up the ability to add more mini museums of any type that you want. You can also hit the collector edition if you want to get the small as well. The collector edition has all three at a discounted price. But if you're just looking for the touch and the large, yes, the pledge manager will open up and you'll be able to get that.
You will be able to add it on. You'll be able to add it on to whatever price you got in at. That's a feature that we've had in the past, and we will of course have that again this time.
Yep.
Happy to do that.
Right. Let's see.
Blackbird was really cool in its triangle. Yeah. Working with that titanium. Oh my God, that was some hard work. Dr. Chaos, you want to come back here and talk about how much fun that was to cut that titanium?
It sucked.
Yeah. Some really hard stuff.
Yeah. Do we have any really tough material in this museum we want to talk about?
Yeah. No. We've got some real
Hydrothermal
challenges.
vents. I think is going to be rough. That's full.
No, that one's actually a little bit easier than I'm looking here at it. But yeah, hydrothermal vents, the zinc there. It actually, from our standards, it kind of comes apart fairly easy. Yeah, bring it on out.
No,
come on.
yeah,
no,
yeah,
bring him
come
out.
on
Bring him
out.
out. Okay, so this is.
Do we have anything?
Yeah.
difficult?
Do we have anything difficult?
Jeez.
Empire State Building here. So this is a stainless steel mullion that goes between the windows here, and the picture. This is a fun fact. So the picture of this guy, we've got him. Sorry, Grant. We've got him like this. It's actually upside down because it looks better this way in the photo. But the reality is, I believe, if I'm correct, it goes like this. And then on the back, I'm holding it because it's heavy because there's these big steel supports in the back.
How heavy is this? I haven't held it yet.
Here, enjoy it. Oh, careful, it's kind of sharp.
It just don't take yourself.
Oh, this is a lot heavier than it looks.
So the stainless steel will be a little bit of a challenge. We'll probably work with one of our partners that does electric discharge machining, the EDM process, which use high energy on a very thin wire to cut. We'll probably roll that too, so we can make it stretch a little bit further. We'll probably also cut the little guys in the back off there and make add-ons from them. So yeah, and I believe the small actually gets the stainless or the pieces in the back there.
Mm-hmm.
So yep, that is probably one of the biggest challenges in this one. It's not like Golden Gate Bridge was in MM2, which was another one that Grant got to work on, which was we use an industrial chain cutter for.
Yeah, we
for
had to
that.
get a special tool just for Golden Gate
hydraulic
Bridge.
chain cutter. Yeah,
Boom.
because the steel was so crazy. That one we didn't even know how we were going to cut it, to be quite frank. It was not something we could EDM easily. It was something we had to manually cut, and it was, Grant's like, yeah.
Is it really? Can I talk about it?
Yeah, come on in and talk about it. It's
Okay,
awesome.
we have
Why
to do
not?
weird things because nobody else does what we do.
Yeah.
So, like, Jamie
Nobody does what we
basically
do.
built a beak inside of a metal safety box where your little metal piece
Yeah,
goes
I remember
in
that.
and is locked in safely with all these little holders. And then there's this kind of clear plastic piece so you can see what you're doing. But you can't see that there's a car jack in a box with a beak. And you're just, like, mystery cranking, honestly, while I watched anime, while this beak and it gets harder and harder the whole time and then explodes. And I can't believe our neighbors don't yell at us. Thanks if you're watching.
Yeah,
It was
ka-chunk,
so
I like the
every
job.
single time. And we made thousands of those. So it was ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. That one was some rough stuff. But
that
the
was something
EDM
else.
machine is, I mean, we've learned so much over this decade of working with these materials, all the different ways that we can prepare them and share them, and then also, how we can use as little material as possible, because, in the case of fossils and things like that, there are very special things that we want to preserve or what have you, and so those processes and techniques are a big part of what we do here.
Yep. Okay, so this is crazy. It's 5:20 already. We were supposed to go till 5:30, so we're going to have
Let's
to
keep
extend
going.
this stream.
Yeah,
definitely.
we'll have to keep going.
So
What's next?
we
Do I
are going
get
to
out of
take
here?
a quick 2-3 minute break here.
What?
The math. Yes, let's real quick talk about the math.
So much math.
When we do something, we have to make sure we've got enough specimens for everything.
Right.
So we go in, we get surface area, we figure out how small something should be, how we can
Surface
do
area,
it.
volume. We look at
How
the
is it gonna be
actual
prepared?
material itself. Can it be stretched in many of the different ways? We might do a weight analysis on a specimen. We might do, like, say, surface area analysis. We've got a big chart for that.
There's a lot of brain and there's a lot of muscle that goes into these
Yeah, and then
museums.
that doesn't even include all the fun stuff that we do. And Jen was talking about the math there in the stream chat, and she does all the resin specimens that we have, and there's so much detail that goes into that. So Jen, when we talk about the math, maybe we could talk about your estimating math on how long it takes you to do them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just a gentle kid, but no, but it you don't know how long it's going to take to do one of these things until you get into it, and until anybody can make. I won't say anybody, but anybody can make one of something, and it's really different when you're talking about making hundreds or thousands of something. When you get into the craftsmanship, you have to be able to repeat that process, and it's really, really difficult when you're dealing with these kind of materials and have to do that over and over again. So there's a lot of focus on making sure that we document what we're doing, how we do it, so that other people can do it as well, and that we can make the specimens look as good as possible. I'm just going to say one more thing about that, because it's really important to me, is that when I look at these specimens, and it's one of the things we've talked about in the past, is that when we look at somebody's mini museum, like when you send a picture to us, which we love, by the way, we got one today.
Send pictures. Yes, I
you see the
did.
one we
I did. So I have to put that in later.
Beautiful. But when we see those, sometimes we feel like we can remember individual specimens, and it's because we take a lot of time thinking about these. We know they're going to you, and they're going to be around for a very, very long time, and so there's a lot of focus on making sure that they all look good, because if one doesn't look good, then maybe all of them don't look good, and we want this to be as good as possible. That's always our goal, is to make every mini museum the best mini museum it can be.
All right, so again, we're going to take a quick 2-3 minute break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about dinosaurs, and if any of the Backer Kit crew is around, please extend the stream time so we don't get cut off in the middle of something. All right, so we'll see you guys soon. All right, welcome back, everybody.
Hi, folks.
Welcome back to the show, to Mini Museum 5. If you are just joining us, I am Max.
And I'm Peter.
We are streaming the launch of Mini Museum 5. This is the 5th edition of the Mini Museum. If you don't know what it is, or you're new here, or whatever, go check the link in our description. There should be a link to the BackerKit page there. Also, I mean, if you just go to backerkit.com, I think we are on the front page right now. Humble brag. So you can just go there, check out the project, go back. There's a 24-hour early bird discount, so do not miss out on that. If you do it during the stream, you will get that discount, or within 24 hours of 4 o'clock, I think, is when it went live. So you guys have 23 hours left, or 22 and a half.
We've already been going for quite a while. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
BackerKit, everyone who's pledged, and everyone who's about to.
It's awesome. I'm so excited about it.
We're going to get back into some specimens now, right?
Yes, it's time to start with dinosaurs. We're going to talk about the dinosaurs in the Mini Museum, and then a little bit beyond. We're starting at number 11. What is number 11, Peter?
It is Carcharodontosaurus, not Carcharodontosaurus.
Carcharodontosaurus.
This has been called Africa's answer to Tyrannosaurus by paleontologist Paul Cyrano, but it's actually closely related to Gigantosaurus, which is even bigger. Massive predator, teeth up to 6 inches long, 40-foot length, a weight of 16 tons. And this material, where a lot of Carcharodontosaurus is found, is from the Kemkem Formation, right, in Morocco?
Yes. So our Carcharodontosaurus material comes from the Kemkem formations, the Kemkem beds, which is a very interesting space in paleontological sciences. In this area, this river delta, 70% of the fossils found there are predator fossils, which is a little bit weird. You wouldn't expect that because, you need non-predators to be around for the predators to survive. Oh, we've got the tooth right here.
This is why I'm wearing gloves.
So, yes, there's a massive amount of predators here. Spinosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, other large theropods, and other large dinosaurs. Super interesting. We got a quick question from Soul42. Can you back for a small and a large? Yes. So if you choose your backing right now in the Pledge Manager post-campaign, you'll be able to pick up another museum of any size that you want.
What were they eating?
What were they eating? So they had some sauropods there, some other large dinosaurs like that. But again, only 30% of these are non-predators. So it's a little unclear as to everything that might have been there.
A real kill or be killed world. We wrote about it recently. That's another one of our articles. If you want some more information, go check that out.
Yep. All right, next up, number 12, Daspletosaurus. This is another large theropod dinosaur. It is a proto-T-Rex. What I mean by that is it is part of the Tyrannosaurid family, but it's earlier on the evolutionary chain from T-Rex. It weighed 5,500 pounds. It was 25 feet long. It had a similar body plan to the T-Rex, but it actually had longer arms. Isn't that right? Not so long that it could, reach around and grab something super easily, but it did help with scavenging behavior.
Yeah, this is something we also wrote about a while ago. We covered a lot on the articles, but there's an ongoing debate about what the actual function of T-Rex and the rest of the family's arms were. Whether it was to scavenge over fallen prey or hold things closer to it while it was chowing down, and Daspletosaurus had the advantage in this. These were kind of solitary hunters, but would kind of hunt alongside each other, I guess, looking out for themselves, but alongside others. They'd have like feeding frenzies that could even turn cannibalistic if there wasn't enough meat to go around. And with Daspletosaurus, as you said, it kind of lays the groundwork for T-Rex, because as we sometimes forget, T-Rex shows up pretty late to the scene, only a few million years before the KPG.
It doesn't have a
extinction.
lot of time in the fossil record.
No, so all those innovations that it makes use of are kind of hammered out beforehand by species or geniuses like Daspletosaurus.
Yes, and if we hit a certain stretch goal, we're also going to have a little bit of a poster that talks about this evolution of T-Rex timeline that I think is going to be super cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what's next?
Next is...
We hit 1,200
We hit 1,200.
backers!
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. That's awesome. 1,200 people on day one in hour two. That's amazing.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Not even halfway through the specimens. Let's keep going. We want to share a lot of information with you.
Yes, next dinosaur. Next dinosaur.
This is the one Max is really excited for. Number 13, Oviraptor. And we talked about this earlier during the overview, that name in Latin means egg thief, because when Oviraptor was first discovered, its holotype, a fully grown Oviraptor, was found right next to a fossilized bunch of dinosaur eggs. And the thought was that this Oviraptor had perished right in the act of grabbing an egg and stealing it. But what we know now is that from embryonic studies of those eggs, that those were Oviraptors themselves, that this was a mother brooding her young. This is the discovery of
yes.
brooding behavior.
I'm tired of the bad rap that Oviraptor got. It is not an egg thief. It was a good mother, and it died in its last moments with its children, or with its eggs, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And that's so interesting, because we just didn't know that behavior. We thought it came much later with birds. But
yes.
With Oviraptor and with Maiasaur, we find out that dinosaurs did not just dump their eggs. They're not turtles. They didn't just dump their eggs and move on.
Yes,
Some of them
dinosaurs
did. Some of them
yes.
did. Of
Some
course.
sauropods did, but when you look at some of these more complicated and complex dinosaurs later on in evolution, like in the late Cretaceous, and even a little bit before that, you see that these creatures had habits that were just beyond survival. Like they had habits that was related to bringing up their young and sharing material with each other. It was really quite interesting. The material in Mini Museum 5 comes from Montana's Hell Creek Formation. The Hell Creek Formation, very famous for its late Cretaceous material. It's about 66 million years old. Next up, we have a gigantic dinosaur. We have the Alamosaurus, a titanosaur, a huge sauropod. This thing was 85 feet long. 85. It had these large osteoderms, which are these bony plates that would protect it from predators and other creatures like that. It also had a very long neck that was rather muscular. It could sort of maybe ring it around in circles and smash up against each other, kind of like giraffes do today. The Alamosaurus in the Mini Museum, I believe, comes from the Javelina Formation, which is another late Cretaceous deposit. It's kind of new on the scene in the paleontological world. We're learning a lot about it. Different from Hell Creek, which is the big famous forest biome, the Javelina Formation has some more fluvial deposits, so, deltas and rivers and things like that. So we're finding out about what was it like on other parts of North America for these dinosaurs.
Yes, it would straddle these different ecosystems of wading through swamps, reaching up, chowing down on angiosperm trees. This is one of the last sauropods to evolve and the largest dinosaur in North America that's been found.
It's a big boy.
Yeah, we're really excited.
All right, next up, we're leaving the age of dinosaurs.
Yes, number 15, woolly rhinoceros. We're getting into the Ice Age now, and woolly
We're getting into the Ice Age. What's the scientific term, Peter?
Oh, wrote down the pronunciation, folk. It's the Pleistocene.
Pleistocene. He got it. He got it on the second try.
Ah, here we go.
First try. Nobody can say differently.
Woolly rhinoceros. That's not the.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
We've actually got the material right here.
I got the gloves on. You can hand it to me.
All right, sir.
Woolly rhinoceros. Basically in the name, if you can imagine a woolly mammoth as a rhino. That's basically it. A 12-foot long, weighed about 6,000 pounds, a 4-foot horn coming out. Dated to first appears like 3.6 million years ago, and then is dies out at the end of the Pleistocene.
The Pleistocene, yes.
Pleistocene, 10,000 years ago. But why don't we tell them where the material comes from?
Yes, you want to go up there and show them the bone, and I can talk a little bit about this. So, one of the places where woolly rhinoceros was found is this stretch of land that we call Doggerland. Doggerland is now known as the North Sea. It's in between the UK and continental Europe. But back during the Pleistocene, this was actually a stretch of land. It was a tundra where creatures like woolly rhinoceros, the woolly mammoth, even some humans lived there. And then about 6,500 years ago, it flooded, which is sort of an example of that climate change that brought about the end of the Pleistocene and a lot of the creatures that lived there. Although this was a much more dramatic ending for those in Doggerland as they were washed away in a flood.
And what's so interesting about some woolly rhinoceros and other creatures from this time is that in their horns and in their bones, you can actually track like the rising and falling temperatures of the Ice Age, the different pulses based off of what they were eating. If it was a lean year, if it was a full year, and you can actually see in their bones like tree rings, basically. And scientists can kind of use this to piece together what was happening then.
BK Tim says this is the coolest animal I've ever seen. Yes, he's a cool guy. All right, next up, we've got another Pleistocene creature. We have the Glyptodon. This is a large turtle-like creature, although it is not a turtle. It is a mammal. As you can see, it's got this heavy shell armor. These are osteoderm scutes, which is the fossil that's going to be in MM5. It is this armadillo-like shell. They had spiked tails, and you might think, oh, well, this is perfect protection against Pleistocene predators. Not true. It's actually protection against other members of the Glyptodon species. Apparently, they had very harsh rivalries with each other.
Yeah, they would compete with each other, and that's how it's believed these evolutionary adaptations came about. This material is dated to 20,000 years ago from northern Florida. And it's believed that Glyptodon went extinct about 10,000 years after that. And the thought is, or it's believed, that humans may have contributed to that. That ironically, the Glyptodon's massive shell, which could be as big as a small car, might have made them a target for humans who, it's a little grisly, but kill the Glyptodon, hollow it out, and sleep and have protection from the elements in the shell.
Mm-hmm.
When Charles Darwin, when he was on the Beagle journey, came across one of these shells, he described it as a giant cauldron. Kind of gives you an idea of the size.
I mean, as you can see from that art of the creature, it's a good shelter. Like,
Yeah.
early humans knew what they were about.
Yep. And number 17, speaking of Darwin, this is Darwin glass. This is the tektite, which, as we talked about a little bit earlier, is kind of obsidian-type glass that when a meteorite impacts directly, or maybe an airburst event, if it's hot enough and there's sort of the proper terrain, sand, it can superheat it and turn it into glass that then flies up and falls to the ground as tektites, as these little like beads of glass. In this specific case, this is from a Darwin crater in Tasmania, dated to 816,000 years ago, and it survived quite a while. It's 98% silica, so it's very resistant against weathering. But this glass has been found even further beyond that, right?
Yes. So the glass comes from off the main shore of Australia on an island, but we find it on Australia. We find it used in tools and in decorative pieces off of or on Australia, 340 miles away from where the impact site was. What this tells us is that early humans who discovered this material used it. They found it to be useful. It's so useful, in fact, that they would trade this material between Tasmania and Australia.
Really an interesting specimen.
Next up, we're going to be entering humanity's sort of rise to prominence here, and the way that we want to represent that is with the dawn of creativity. This is red ochre. If you know anything about ochre, you might know that it is basically a catch-all use for lots of stuff in the Pleistocene, the Paleolithic.
Yes.
It was used as sun protection, insect repellent, body paint, medicinal salves. They used it to treat hides. They used it for mummification, I believe. It was a ritual item as well. But what you might know it most as is cave art. So if you've seen like the Lascaux caves, where they have those pictures of all the different animals and the cattle and the deer and things
Bears.
like that. Yeah, bears. That material that they painted the walls with is this ochre. And we're learning a lot about humans' use of ochre. It turns out it's a lot older than we thought it was. There was a recent study, either this year or I believe last year, that tells us we've been using it since 300,000 years ago.
Yes, one of its other uses is that it's been found that ochre you can use as basically a simple adhesive, but it'd be simple to glue things together, but to make it would be complicated enough that we know that you would need language to teach this process. And it tells us a little bit about Paleolithic humans, that there'd be, there's some degree of hierarchy. The person teaching and the person being taught tells us something about their society, about language, and it really kind of shines light on that part of our history, because we think, of course, of early humanity as very fight or flight, conflict, but we start to see with red ochre, well, what do people do when they're not running for their lives or hunting a big saber-tooth tiger, whatever?
There's this idea of, generational sharing, language, problem-solving, conceptualization. These people were just like us. I mean, they were exactly like us. They had different levels of technology, but it was all there,
Yeah, keeping on with early humanity, number 19, early
Yeah,
modern
bring it out.
humans. This looks really great. You can really see how it was used. Why don't you take it to that side? It's heavy. This is a stone tool core. Now, stone tools are divided up into 5 main industries. That's what they're called, or super complexes, I think, that are divided up by different innovations used, different techniques. And so this particular one is dated to 35,000 years ago from France Bergerac region, which is kind of a hot spot for this stuff. And this is a lithic core, right? Why don't you explain what that is?
Yes, so this is part of the aurignation industry. And what they would do is they would take this large rock of, I think it's flint, and they would take a hammer stone, which was not made of flint, but a heavier, denser stone, and strike from the top. Bam, bam, bam. And as you can see, these lines here inside of the stone, this is where they would strike off scrapers and knife points, things like that. So this is kind of like a mother stone to the hand tools of early modern humans.
Mm-hmm. And it's really something. You can really see it right there. It's very great. Let's hand that back.
Yes. It's very dense.
Before I carry this giant thing on.
Yeah, so we can take a closer look at it there, and you can see sort of those cleave marks from where the hammer stone was struck. All right, next up, we've got Lost Civilization Luristan bronze. So this material is this bronze metal from the Luristan nomadic peoples who were in Iran about 3,000 to 2,700 years ago. The material was first discovered in 1928, and nobody was super sure where it came from. There was a big buzz about, oh, let's check this out, let's dig this up, let's see more, and unfortunately, a lot of that important stratigraphy data was lost. So there's a lot that we don't know about the Luristan nomads.
Yeah, already mysterious, and then even more complicated. We don't know a lot. We do know, as you said, they were nomads, and we know that based off of what's left behind. The swords are very kind of short, stubby, something you would have if you were moving a lot. Harness rings for animals, decorative standards to carry. A lot of them, and this is very common in this region of the world, have the Master of Animals motif, which has like a man or a woman standing dead center and keeping two animals at bay. That kind of tells us a little bit about their culture, but there still is a lot unknown about them.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys liked the stuff so far? Is it awesome? Then go back. Go to the link in the description. Go back. Go get a mini museum. Go get all this stuff and learn more about it. Way too much? That was for you. All right. What's next? Oh, yes. Tell me about this one. I like this one.
Number 21, Roman siege engine, and going from a lost civilization to one we know quite a bit about. This is a ballista shot from a catapult, and these were used throughout the Roman Empire from 200 BC all the way through the original empire into the Byzantine, when they'd be augmented with Greek fire and primitive explosives and that kind of thing. And catapults. Oh, of course, we got the shots.
This is the ballista shot from the Roman siege engines.
That they would, way a catapult works, you build tension in a rope assembly using the torsion principle, and then fling something into a tower and probably a person. One of the most feared catapults ever used, the Polybos repeater, which wouldn't even have to be reloaded. You could fire multiple in a row. And why don't you? I don't know. Is there anything else to say, Matt?
Yes. So this material comes from the 3rd century. It is ballista shot from the Roman Empire. As you can see there, that Peter has there, some of this material has been shot. That large chunk there that's missing, that actually fell off when it struck the ground. So
I'm gonna sneak in here behind Peter. Yeah,
this is live fire.
The
animation.
interesting part about these things are, a couple things. Some of these shots that we have, they're made from local stones, right? So as the army is advancing, they're building roads and advancing and building roads and advancing and fighting. But they also take these stones and they heat them up. And, as we have some of these that are broken, you can see that the inside, you can see how it's been fired. And actually, when they fire it, it actually makes the stone harder. And it's really quite interesting. This is going to be speaking earlier about challenging specimens, this is going to be a challenging one to work on. Because
it'll be a tough
material
one.
is very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool, though. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Next up, our next specimen, number 22. We are representing the Ottoman Empire here with a piece of Kemha silk. This specimen really tells the story of the east to west trade and the hold that the Ottoman Empire had over that economic system. It comes from waistband material that was given, or we got it from a UK family that can trace back their lineage to merchants from Constantinople about 200 years ago. The Ottomans were really at their peak in the 17th century. They controlled trade from China and Iran all the way out into the West, countries like France and the UK, places like that. So this specimen kind of tells that intricate story of how does this stuff get made, moving from one part of the world to the next?
Yes, it's China and Iran and other places that the silk would be made, and then they control sort of the flow of it. And the way you make silk is you have a silkworm and you have it eat and molt and eat and molt and eventually spin a cocoon, and then you boil the cocoon and pull out the raw silk, and then that gets transported somewhere else and it gets spun into all sorts of things.
Yep, and as it moves across the trade routes there, it's weaved and turned into more intricate patterns until it's eventually sold. It looks like we're at 1, 2, 3, 4 backers, which is super exciting.
Thank you so much.
I love that. Maybe we can get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 backers, right? So,
Yeah, if you're able to, please back. We're already doing so well, but let's keep it going.
and seriously, tell your friends. Remember, there is a 24-hour early bird discount. So if you want to get in here while we're still got that going, back right now. Don't wait. Tell people. Bring them to the stream.
Come hang
let 'em
out.
see. Yeah. That's what we're here for. Is we're talking about the museum. So come to check all this stuff out. We're going to take another quick break here. When we get back, Peter and Jamie are going to talk about some of these special tiers in the museum, as well as some of the stretch goals. And then after that, we're going to return with some more of the modern history stuff that we'll talk about.
Yeah, a little more on humans and show you the rest of the museum. We're very excited.
Yep. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll see you folks again in a second.
Don't touch that dial. Welcome back.
Now we're back.
Oh,
You
sorry.
had to
Sorry.
wait for the thumb.
Sorry, folks. Now we're back. I'm Peter,
I'm Jamie.
and we're going to talk about some of the specialty tiers, right?
We're going to talk about some of the specialty tiers where you're getting a mini museum and something super cool to go along with it. So the first one up is going to be, and this one's already gone. Do we know who got it? I don't think we've looked that one up yet. So whoever's got this one, we're playing
I'm
with
very
your toy.
jealous of
I'm
you.
jealous too. This has been in my personal possession for some time. I'm a photographer for fun, and so I've loved having this little guy around just to look at. It's functional. This is an Ajax 12 camera.
Yes, this is the material in the mini museum, the Cold War espionage. That's the little button shutter, right?
Yeah.
That would obscure this, but this is the camera proper, and whoever's
This is the
got
actual
it.
camera, and it is functional too. I haven't taken any pictures with it myself, but you can open it from down here, and then you load the film in. You can use regular film with it. You have to cut it down. There's lots of videos because this has a kind of an interesting group of folks, but it really does work. Hopefully that catches up on the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you twist it up and then off you go. And so lucky person out there has this little guy. I'm looking at it wistfully because I'm sad to see him go, but it will be fun. So thank you so much
Thank you.
for your pledge. And I can't wait to send this to you.
And our next one, a frequent flyer. I believe this one's also gone.
This one's gone too, yeah. So this is the Boeing 747. It's a trailing edge flap. It's part of a trailing edge flap from that beautiful plane, St. Kieran, which, that was actually its friendly name that folks flew in Ireland. And then here it is. You can see it. It's a really nice, beautiful piece. It's going to be fantastic for somebody's collection. You can see the interior of it. Yeah, that's what airplanes look like on the inside. Very exciting. We're flying in cardboard coated with metal. Well, they have to be light. They're really big. But it is really cool to look at these pieces and to see them up close and personal that way. So congratulations and thank you so much. Can't wait to send this off to you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we go to the next one. This one should be still available. The Tundra Hunter.
Which was originally called Thunder on the Tundra, but Max said I couldn't do that because the name was too long. But I mean, you're about to see why it's called. I wanted to call it Thunder on the Tundra. Where's that jawbone at? Can we bring it in here?
Yes.
Here comes Grant with it right now. I got you.
Gotcha.
You guys all have your gloves on. You're very professional. I wash my hands. Try not getting oil on these things. But this is amazing. It's a juvenile jaw. You got teeth in here. Peter will take this up so you can see it. You get multiple woolly rhinoceros teeth in there. This comes from Siberia, from our good friend Richard Hager, who gets these pieces for us. Wonderful, wonderful piece. And we actually have larger teeth available on the website too.
Really
That are really awesome. That is so cool. I just love it. Oh, bring the stand out too. Yeah, separately. You put that bone down and bring the stand. I didn't even show that. Is that in the picture too on the site? I hope so because it looks so awesome.
Oh, right.
Oh, these are so cool. So I wanted to show this because we're going to have some woolly mammoth teeth that are going to be on these beautiful, not for part of the campaign, but just on the website. So these are just these beautiful natural wood stands. Take it up there so they can see it. It's so cool. We have one that I actually don't want to get rid of because I love it so much. It's beautiful. But these are really great, and really love seeing these go to people and having them in their collections, and send us awesome pictures of these things where they're going to be well loved with all of your own treasures, as they would say.
And what do people have to hit to get the...
Oh, that one's $3,999. You get that great big bone, you get a large mini museum, you get that beautiful stand. It's a really nice piece, and so hopefully somebody will snatch that guy up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really something.
What do we got next?
Tyrannosaurus lover.
This is so cool. You guys were talking about the Guja and the Javelina formations down there in Texas. So this is a vertebra. It's a tyrannosaurid vertebra. We think it's a rex, but it's from that formation down there. And it's a really, really big one. And we have some smaller ones that we'll sell. These come from Andre Lujan, who mentioned earlier. And that area is so cool. We have a great study we'll link to on the site, or at least in the book we'll talk about it, that talks about this environment that these creatures lived in, both the Alamosaurus and the Tyrannosaurids. In addition to the vertebra with its nice heavy-duty stand, you'll also get a Nanotyrannus tooth. which we have here. A nice picture of that guy, or holding it in the hand. So Neotyrannus is potentially a different species, or it might be a juvenile rex, although we call it right now the current thinking is that it's a different species, but there's some fighting over that. But that's a beautiful tooth, and the Tyrannosaurid lover will get both of those.
And did you say what level did they go to?
I didn't. I keep skipping that, but thank you for reminding me. That is 5,999, so that's a big one, but you do get some pretty awesome pieces out of that.
Mm-hmm. It's heavy.
It's a monster.
Next one, Permian Monarch.
Permian Monarch. Okay, so that comes with two things. First, I'm going to talk about the Permian cluster, which Peter will take up. This is the actual clay material that gets mined. It's part of another mining operation, so that's where these come from. But
That's kind of small. Let's put it on the other.
Yeah,
camera,
let's,
so I get a little
yeah, put it
closer.
on the other camera so they can see real close up and personal. But this is where those little bones. Excuse me. This is where those little bones come from, and that we have in the museum itself. So the cluster has that, and they're getting it over there on.
And you can see those bones.
Yeah,
you can see those bones embedded in the material.
yeah. So you get that, and those clusters we can get some more of those. We may sell those individually too, but this is the one that you get with it.
difficulties on camera.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, camera
Sorry.
2 is busted.
We'll fix camera
Heat
2
down.
on break.
He overheated a little bit, maybe.
We are asking a lot on that camera.
But you can see those bones, and
Yep.
Grant, you can show them. What's
Grant,
the
why don't we
other?
look at? Why don't you give me the or what?
I was
Show
told not
let's
to
show
give
off the
this to you.
yeah. Don't no, you go show it off. Sit down here. So this is a beautiful piece. This is a Dimetrodon neural spine. Some of you may recognize this guy from MM2. It was our hero image. We purchased this from Glenn Rockers, who, if you're into collecting fossils, Glenn is now retired. He is probably the preeminent fossil preparator. It's the little, Grant's in front of the camera now, but it's the neural spine there. But he is the preeminent fossil preparator for this particular formation and these specimens. And this, when we saw this, we had to have it, and we are very happy about giving it to someone else. But yeah, the neural spine's there. I love this one so much. And I don't have my gloves on, but I'm going to hold it because I love it. And somebody else is going to get it, and they're going to love it too. The detail on this thing is just amazing. For MM2, I took a lot of pictures of this, spent a lot of time with it, just thinking about hundreds of millions of years of history. We got... Yep, we got way 2. You're out of here.
No,
Good night
finally
from
made it to
Disneyland.
work.
Oh, you finally made it to work. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Oh, have a good stream though. See, they're going their way. So
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, so they are going to go. But see you. Thank you so much. I'm glad we could help make your drive a little more fun and interesting. And what else we got? Oh, the Permian Monarch price. You get a large. You get this. You get the cluster along with it, and it's $7,999. And this is going to make a wonderful, wonderful piece for somebody's collection. I can't wait to send that guy on his way too.
Oh, it's really something.
I will miss him.
And so those are our specialty tiers. There's those last 3 that are still available.
Awesome.
And so 3 lucky people are going to get that.
Yay.
And we can talk about our stretch goals for the
Yeah.
whole campaign.
So we're talking about stretch goals now. So I'll sit back here so we'll both be in focus, right? Okay, so stretch goals. Stretch goal at 600,000 is additional pins, right? Or am I supposed to talk or am I supposed to leave?
No. Tell them.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I can't read the thing, so maybe I should
Oh,
step out
gotcha.
because it's too far away from my old eyes.
Well, the stretch goal at 600,000 is 3 additional pins, and that's Liz Caneda of the Snarky Company.
Canada.
These are people who designed them. Rachel Ruck of
The Sparky Company. I love their
Corvette
stuff.
Forms, and Jason Fury. So at this level, we unlock 3 more
Jason
pins.
was on the stream earlier.
Thank you, Jason, if you're still watching. And so these are, at this level, at 600,000.
3 more pins.
3 more pins.
Loving it.
At 650,
Audiobook edition.
you can read that one.
Free audiobook edition. So, we made these amazing companion guides. I wrote the first 5 of them. And, we wanted to do an audiobook for a long time. And we thought, let's make that a stretch goal because it's going to cost a lot to do that, all the work that'll go into it. So we'll do a really cool audiobook and make that available to all the backers. That's a stretch goal at 650,000. So yes, awesome, so awesome.
Yeah, you'll have the physical book. There's the one you can download, and when we hit this, you'll also be able to listen to
Yeah.
it.
So what's the next one?
$700,000.
Are we gonna go to the picture of the coelacanth for this?
Yeah,
We gotta go to that
let's
picture
put
of the
that up.
coelacanth, that really nice one that I said fishy on the project page. You know which one I'm talking about? We got that one. We don't have that one? Oh, man, I love that picture. Oh, well, you can go on the project page and see it. It's all laid out there. Really nice angle. When we got the coelacanth, I put it on the counter and just look at it. It's so cool. And the first thing that came to mind was, like, I really want to put some cheese on it. I want to set, not cheese like liquid cheese, but, like, I want to set it out as a cheese tray.
Yeah.
Which, of course, we're not going to do. It's just one of those silly things that you think about when you're artistically minded. And so I just wanted to, like, totally like deck that sucker out, and I was like, oh, we're gonna make it. Yeah, show it up there on the screen. We're gonna make that into a cutting board.
Yeah,
And,
a 3D scan of it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So we'll take a real 3D scan of this thing, and then we'll put it in there, and it's just gonna be awesome. Oh God, this is so cool. So yeah, so we'll have a 3D scan of this guy, and then we'll laser etch and do a cutting board. And that'll be available. So this is unlocking that process, basically. It's something that people will have to buy, but the $700,000 stretch goal means that we can do it. We'll have enough money to be able to afford to do that development. So that'll be awesome.
That looks very good.
A lot of fun.
800,000.
800,000. That is some more additional pins from our buddy Ellis, right?
Someone's asking any word on the shipping cost to Australia.
Oh yeah, I think it's on the project page, right? Was it 20? Yeah, it's 20 for Australia. So we're cutting. It's not going to cost us 20, but it's going to cost you 20. But what I mean by that, it's going to cost a lot more than $20. So because things have changed post pandemic and all that stuff, and as you well know, in Australia and New Zealand as well. And it's really expensive to ship stuff these days, but we're going to eat that cost ourselves as a thank you to you for backing the project. So we're going to cut that down. The same thing goes for Europe. I don't know off the top of my head what the European price is. It's on the project page. That price is also well below what it's going to cost us to ship. We know you're going to have some taxes to pay. And that's our way of trying to help out with that by cutting that cost down.
We know things are different, and we want to help everyone have this stuff as much
we're
as we
doing the
can.
best that we can. So so thank you. That's a great question. So thank you very much for asking that question. Was that Nathaniel? Oh yeah,
Yes.
Nathaniel. Sorry. Again, old eyes can't quite see it. So where were we at? Oh,
We're
sorry.
at the next stretch goal, 800,000. That's 3 additional pins. That's,
we got Ellis, right?
Yes, Carly K from Mythic Management LLC.
Oh, those are so cool. And Carrie Allison again. So Carrie Allison, who did the coelacanth pin, is going to be in for another one. Her work is so cool. Yeah, they're all amazing. I can't wait to see those.
Let's get to these pins.
What's the next one? The next one is the evolution poster. So T-Rex evolution poster with our buddies Albertosaurus, Gorgosaurus, Daspletosaurus, and T-Rex.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier with Daspletosaurus, that all the innovations that T-Rex made use of had to be refined by earlier generations, and so we want to kind of trace that progress in the poster, right?
Yeah, I think it's up at the American Museum of Natural History in New York. They had a big display recently of Tyrannosaurid evolution with just beautiful stuff. I saw it, and I was like, I saw it virtually, and I was like, man, I want to have a poster of all that. So if we can do this, we're going to hire a great artist to work out a super cool poster of this evolution. It ties into the Daspletosaurus specimen. Dale Russell, who named that dinosaur in 1970, also did some other interesting evolutionary things about the future of dinosaurs if they had never gone extinct. So that won't be in the poster, but all the T-Rex evolution stuff will be in there, and it'll be, trust us, it's going to be awesome because it's what I want, and it's going to be great. So I can't wait to have it and put it up on the wall.
Yeah, we're really excited in our final stretch goal of $1 million.
Golden coelacanth, which we talked about, and so that's if we hit the magic $1 million number. We haven't done that for a while, so we're hoping that we can get there this time. And that's going to be Carrie Allison's design, and then we're going to redo it as
there
golden.
it is.
It's going to be beautiful. So, there it is on the stream. So, It looks amazing. It looks beautiful.
And everyone gets one of those, right?
Yeah,
we
yeah.
get
Every
that?
backer will get one of those, and so we'll just make them and ship them on out with everything else. Pins are great for us because it goes right in the box, and some of the other things get a little more complicated. But yeah, so this is going to be an amazing one. And where's our total at now? Where are we at? How much we got pledged so far?
Well, we're on our way. We're getting there, but you know, we still want to hit all these stretch goals, and so if you're able to back right now, and
Yeah,
you know.
sorry, I'm looking over here at the screen. Somebody just asked about extra pouches and companion guides as add-ons. Absolutely, we're going to have those. And what's the actual number total? Oh, it's 392K. Oh, so wonderful. Thank you. We're so
Thank you
close
so
to being
much.
funded. So to answer the question on the pouches, yes. So we'll add more add-ons. You know, when we do our campaigns, we have a few add-ons right up front, and then we'll have a ton more of amazing fun things later to talk about. But pouches and extra companion guides will absolutely be part of that. We're at 392,000 right now. We need to get to 500,000 in order to make this real. We talked about this earlier on, that the world is different now, and we have to hit a bigger number to secure our production run. We have the book itself. We have to get raw materials for the book. We have to have press time for the book. We have acrylic production. We have to make sure we actually are able to get that together as well. So that 500K is about us, you know, actually being able to commit to a large enough run right off the bat to make this happen. So you can, your pledges are so helpful for that. Obviously, it makes it possible.
Thank you way too much. Yeah, if there's anyone you know that'd be interested, you know, share the link. Have them come hang out.
Oh yeah, right there. So yeah, sell it. Help us. You know, tweet about it, put it on Facebook, you know, just repeat one of ours. If you see one of our posts, just give it a like. And the reason that's helpful is, you know, the algorithms out there, the more they're liked and shared, the more that shows up in other people's feeds too. So even just giving a like to something is a big, big help at the end of the day. And we have a community, we have some other goals around that. Let's see here. What do we got? Who else? Did somebody else ask a question? Wikipedia game. Somebody's going to address that. Okay, so that's addressed. All right, great. What else we got?
Well, I just wanted to say, and I think you've said it before, that you know, we have a big goal for this, but with that, because we have to hit this certain threshold to make sure this happens. I mean, this is our biggest museum, right?
Sure.
Most specimens, and you know we have a big goal, but we're also really excited to bring you all this stuff.
Totally. Campaign exclusives for those of you backing. I mean, we're in it, and it's a lot of work, and we're happy to do it and share the journey along the way. But, you know, the other piece of that is we have the extra 5 specimens that will be included for folks that are pledging for the large and touch. Those won't be post-campaign. They won't be around. So, you know, that's another reason to get on the campaign, which you already are. But if you're listening and wondering about Mini Museum, definitely check out on the campaign page. You'll see where there are all those exclusives are listed out.
Well, I don't know. Is there anything else we want to talk about right now?
No. Are we ready to go to a quick break and then come back?
Well,
Or
if
we
you
got
have
some else to talk
any
about?
questions or
Oh yeah,
anything else
let's
you guys
go.
can
Yeah,
ask?
we're doing questions. Anybody got any questions on the stream? How many people we have on the stream right now? Got a couple hundred on the stream right now. 300 people on the stream right now. Let's hear some questions. What
someone's
ones are you
asking-
thinking of running the campaign for Oceans? That is a great question. You know, that one is going to depend on how fast we get through specimen production for MM5, which is obviously the priority. Oceans is pretty much ready. We have like 1 or 2 other specimens that we're trying to lock in on, hoping for some travel to make that possible. There's one we've been chasing for like the last 5 years. And there's only a window of time that we can go get it. I won't reveal what it is, but it's very exciting, and I might die on the way to getting it. But, you know, there's that. But yeah, so Oceans, ideally, later this year we'll launch Oceans once we're sure MM5 is locked in. That's obviously the priority right now. So I know I'm kind of dancing around the answer, but I think you'll see something
Stay
from us
tuned.
around October.
Do we know, will the stream be rewatchable later?
That was a great question. I was thinking about it while I was off sitting over here on the side and watching Max and Peter, you know, just killing it. I was like, man, wouldn't it be awesome? I think Max says yes, maybe. something? He's like kind of dancing in the background. Are you listening to
Well,
me? Are you on your headphones? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I think probably yes. We're gonna go for try to make that rewatchable. I guess we can't do that with Twitch. We probably just say save the stream.
We'll figure that out. Nathaniel asked about non-American modern history and future museums, and we talked about it earlier, but just sort of constraints with COVID importing things. We wanted to do another museum, but there were some limitations on the history we could cover. But there's still things like, Amelia Earhart, an American, but, it's very universal. The first woman to fly across the Atlantic, just the second person.
Yeah, so I think that as travel continues to open up in places, that we'll actually be going and doing some more of that international travel for us, international travel outside of the United States to secure more specimens. Some of those are better to secure in person, and they're actually, when you look at some of the things that are available on, because we do, buy from auctions like Christie's and whatnot, some of those were not. There just weren't as many pieces available as we typically see, which was also, I think, a little interesting too. But that's starting to come back a little bit now. I guess everybody's over NFTs, right? So now maybe Christie's will have some regular stuff out there. But there were a couple specimens we're chasing, and things haven't panned out where we want them to be. But they are definitely going to add more international. It's something we're thinking very hard about.
A good question that a couple people have asked, and in the future that's something we definitely want to do.
Yeah, this is where I could go through. Okay, how many backers in this country, and this country? Can you call this person to call this person and call this person?
Yeah,
for me?
We have a global community, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, we've had backer specimens. We have a backer specimen in this museum, which you'll cover in just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Thank you to everyone who's back so far. We're getting real close to.
You haven't missed the talk about the Disney specimen that's coming. That's coming up next.
Just after this segment, we're going to take a break in just a moment. But then we'll be back in a little bit.
Yeah.
And Max and I will take you through the rest of the specimens and start closing things out a little bit.
Yeah, awesome.
I don't know. Should we go to break? Is there anything else?
I think that's it, unless we have some more questions. We have some more questions in there. Talk about the Disney, the campaign, NFT cringe. That's funny. I can tell you about that. A little quick fun fact. We actually had an NFT solution before there were NFTs that people were doing, and we decided not to do it because it was too expensive and too energy intense. And so we were like, no, I don't think so. And then, of course, NFTs blew up. Actually glad we never did that for all kinds of reasons. It wasn't the right thing to do, but we definitely investigated it. I don't know. Why am I talking about it? I talked about it in the first place. And Max is giving me a face. I'm getting the hook. I'm getting the hook, folks.
Someone's asking about other team members. Everyone's doing well, but some people are camera shy and some people's working from home now. And so it's a smaller number of people at the office right now, but everyone's really excited for it.
Yep. Awesome.
And I don't know. Should we go to break?
Let's go to break. And then
okay.
Come back and do some more specimens.
Yeah,
right?
we'll
give me the hook.
Get out of here. We'll see you guys later. And don't touch that dial.
Hello, welcome back. We
Hello,
are
hello.
back.
We're back. You guys hear us all right?
Yes.
Oh,
I
did
think
we?
we can. Oh, we hit 400,000. Look at that. Oh, we came back right at the perfect time. Thank you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
Backer 1291. Whoever just backed. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You did it.
We're getting there, but we're not there yet. If you haven't yet, or you know anyone that wants to, please back now, and we will get to that base goal, and then all the way to our stretch goals.
M. Jarrington, send us a message at service@minimuseum.com. We'll see what we can do for you. Yes. All right. 400,000. We are so close to the backer. The backing goal, 500,000. We are almost there. Let's do it. Maybe we could do it before the stream ends. Will we be able to do it?
That'd be fantastic.
You guys have to race us. Race us. Tell your friends. Tell them right now. Email them. Text them. Scream it to them. Call them and say, hey, back this campaign. I want these guys to freak out on camera.
Yes. If you're an Amelia Earhart fan, if you want those exclusive specimens, you gotta do it now.
Yep.
And so we will take you through the rest of the specimens, the rest of modern American history and world history. And so we will start number 3 of Monticello. This is
23.
number 23. Thomas Jefferson's home, Monticello, who, of course, we know mostly as a founding father, politician, but was also an architect throughout his life, pioneered what was later called the Jeffersonian style. I hope he didn't call it that. That'd be a little narcissistic.
That would be a little on
par.
Yeah, on par for Jefferson to name a style after himself.
But it was his take on the neoclassical movement happening in Europe. And so the house kind of shows that. Has its portico entrance, the octagonal central room with the white dome on top of it. And he worked on it throughout his whole life, but by the end, topped out at 21 rooms, had a dumbwaiter, had a special weather vane that you could read from the inside of the house. It was inspired by the Hotel des Salles in Paris after he came back from his time as an ambassador in France. But as, of course, we all know, there's another side to Monticello's history that we got to talk about.
Yes, so this is something that we want to also go into more in depth in the companion guide, but an unfortunate fact about history, and it's still a fact about American history, and we should talk about it, is that Thomas Jefferson, along with several other founding fathers, were slave owners. Monticello is a beautiful building. It is also a plantation, and that's something, that complexity there, that paradox of the American freedom, that's something we want to talk about in the companion guide as well.
Yeah, we've talked about this quite a bit, and we kind of know we can't give this subject the justice that it needs just talking to you about it real quick, and so that's why we want to really go through it carefully when we're writing about it.
Let's see the material, though.
Well,
let's take a look.
You might wonder why it looks like a giant gavel. It's because it is. This wood that was taken from Monticello was
A white oak beam from the house.
Yes, was actually made into 15, I think, gavels that were used at the 1968 Democratic Convention, the infamous one that saw widespread police crackdowns and
Yes.
crowned Humphrey, who got hosed by Nixon in the election.
So we've got a lot to talk about with this specimen, the companion guide. I'm actually quite interested to dig into it and start talking about the history with it. Careful.
But yeah, we're excited to talk about this one.
Yep. All right. Next up. Oh, let's see. There we go.
There we go.
Old Ironsides, the USS Constitution. Look at this. This is a beautiful old ship. We have a piece of the original hull of this battleship. Ironsides, or the USS Constitution, was made as a part of the Naval Act of 1794. The United States, the fledgling United States, wanted to show that they were able to provide some Navy power. So they commissioned 6 frigates. One of them was the Constitution. It fought in several different conflicts. There was the Barbary Pirates War, the Quasi War, and most famously the War of 1812, where it got its nickname. It was going up against the HMS Guerriere, a British ship that, it's actually a little bit of history behind this, used to be a French ship, was captured by the British, and then became a British ship. But in this conflict with the Guerriere, they were firing cannonballs against the side of the USS Constitution, and they actually, supposedly, bounced off of the hull of the Constitution.
Supposedly.
Yes, and allegedly, a Navyman who saw this screamed out, "Huzzah! Her sides are made of iron!" Which is how it got its nickname as Old Ironsides. Is that true? I don't know, but people call it Old Ironsides.
Well, it kind of shows that battle, it was only a minor strategic victory, but it was a real morale booster, and the ship really became beloved.
Yes. Peter, you have a little bit of a personal story with this ship, is that right?
Oh yeah, my dad, who was in the Navy, he got promoted in a small little ceremony to captain aboard the USS Constitution. And, that was able to happen because the ship is still floating today in Boston Harbor, right? That it is the oldest still floating ship in the world, over 200 years. And because it was so beloved, it was saved from being scrapped. And the material we actually have in the museum, we have because of those refurbishment efforts in the 20s, that the kind of a ship of Theseus situation. They took out a lot of the original material and replaced it so the ship could continue to float, and now there's all this material that we have access to a small part of it, and we're excited to share with you.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, so a piece of the original hull of this magnificent battleship.
Someone asked if the last specimen, if it'll be in the museum, if it'll be able to look like a little gavel, which I don't think we'll be able to pull off. We do like to do that to shape the material as much as we can, but with a lot of the stuff we work with, it's a little too sensitive, and we're always happy when we can pull that off. But
keep an eye out on the project updates. We'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens. Yep. All right. Next up, This is a great specimen. This is a grand specimen.
Another one of our exclusives. I mean, we're really excited about this. Number
Yep, this is a
25.
campaign exclusive.
Yes, please. Back now. You will get a small piece of what we call Amelia Earhart. This is from her Vega 5B. She called her Little Red Bus. And this is from her first solo transatlantic crossing, which happened in 1932. The second woman, no, not the second woman. The first woman, just the second person after Charles Lindbergh. She'd flown on a transatlantic flight before with multiple, like a crewed mission, like 3 people. But she had just kept the logs on that one. She had called herself just baggage, and she was determined to do it for herself. And she almost didn't pull it off, not through her skill, but she had to deal with storms, a fire on the plane, faulty instruments.
It's a harrowing trip.
Yeah, she had wanted to land in Paris, as Lindbergh had done, but all these disasters on the plane, she didn't quite make it. She had to touch down earlier, right?
Yes, she landed in Derry in Northern Ireland. And when she came down, there was actually a local farmer who was nearby and came out and said, have you come far? And she said...
from America.
Yeah, so yes, I guess she did come pretty far. So the material in this specimen is going to be a swatch of red fabric from her plane. Obviously not this plane, this is just a model. But the plane itself, the Vega 5B, did have this brilliant red coloring to it. And that is part of the fabric that we have there. Yeah, you can actually... There's some material there, up there. I think you guys can see it on stream.
Really great moment in history. Another one of those exclusives. And
yes.
I mean, another...
This is a campaign only. So if you back during the campaign, you will get Amelia Earhart. It's part of those 5 special specimens. But if you do not back for the campaign, if you get the edition that comes out afterwards, there will not be Earhart in it. So make sure to back.
Yeah, and we'd like everyone to have this material, but this is such a pivotal moment in history that we just don't have that much, and we want to share it with the people we can. And so if you're able to,
Yep. All right.
go
Next up, number 26. This is another big one. This is the Empire State Building. We have a piece of it over here. We showed it earlier. Oh, it's heavy.
I haven't gotten a hold of it yet.
Yeah, hold it.
Oh, word.
Yes. This is a stainless steel mullion from the windows of the Empire State Building. This skyscraper was first opened to the public on May 1st of 1931. It came in under budget, months ahead of schedule. It was an architectural success. It was done in the Art Deco style. It was 102 stories tall, which when it opened was the tallest building in the world. It's iconic. I mean, you see it in film, you see it in television, photographs. People write about this thing. It is a piece of the New York City skyline. I mean, I think about New York City, I think about Empire State.
Yes, but this particular bit of material that we have because of an event most people, or some people may not know as well. The building was so tall that it could even prove a hazard. On July 28th, 1945, a B-25 traveling in thick fog between Massachusetts and New Jersey, transporting like Army personnel, crashed into the building between the 79th and the 80th floor. It was a massive disaster to this, what was still a pretty new building. 14 people died, and an injured elevator operator who was put on an elevator to go down fell 75 stories. And survived, and is the record for the longest plunge. But through it all, the building was able to open just 48 hours later.
So
really resilient.
Yes, after that crash, it shook loose a lot of material. Things needed to be replaced, which is how we get this window piece that's going to be an MM5. Again, a real piece of the Empire State Building that will be in this collection, your collection, if you back.
Yep.
All right, next up, number 27. I think this is Peter's favorite, right?
Well, we each have like 5 favorites each,
Yeah,
right?
this is true.
Number 27, Cold War Espionage, the Soviet spy camera, which someone actually has gotten the camera itself, right?
You've got the camera over there, too.
Oh, of course. One lucky person who's going to have to fight me off. Well, you won, you got it. But that's the Soviet spy camera. But the material in the museum is the material is the button that would go over the lens on a shirt or on a jacket, and it would flick open for just a moment. Person would take a picture of a document or whatever. This is the Ajax 12, like I said. covered by a button.
I think we have some buttons up on the side stream right now as well. So these are the actual spy buttons that were used by the Soviet spies.
Yeah, and they'd be split down the middle and flutter open for a second.
Yeah,
and
can we get a diagram of how that actually worked on the camera real
yeah, I
quick?
think we scanned from one of the books we were reading. Yeah, there
Yes,
it is.
so yes, we can take a look at this, and you can see how this thing operated.
Long career from 1953 all the way into the 1990s, so past the Soviet Union and like post-Warsaw Pact countries. Very useful. It was apparently loud enough that the spies were instructed to cough every time they took a picture, which probably got a couple people caught. There was an attempt.
Keep going. We'll
Okay.
answer it. Just
There
one
was
second.
a sorry about that. There was an attempt to do a commercial version of it, right? The MF1, but after the Soviet Union, and it was an old design already. Just the market wasn't really there for that. And yeah, our material, a little button, but it could be hidden all sorts of stuff, right?
Yes, in thermoses, radios, books. I believe that it was also used in a bra at one point, which is a little bit risque. Mackenzie asks, MM team, I have a question from someone out on the stream. If they pledge for a touch museum as an early bird, will they be able to get a second one at the same early bird price in the pledge manager? The answer is yes. We will honor that early bird pricing if you were one of those members. It will either be like directly in there, you will get the early bird pricing, or there will be a coupon code for that extra credit of the difference there. So yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah, good question. We know everyone can't watch now, and hopefully we'll be able to play this later. And so if you're watching later, make sure you back as soon as you can, so you can get that these exclusive specimens like a Soviet spy camera.
Yeah, if you want to back a bunch of museums, back right now, back in the first 24 hours. That way you can save a little bit once the more come out in the pledge manager.
Number 28. Someone was asking about this one.
Yes, we have this for you way too much. It's time. Walt Disney. Yes. Number 28 is Walt Disney, the Disneyland apartment above Main Street, USA. It was hidden over the firehouse on Main Street, USA, the iconic firehouse.
Still there.
Mm-hmm. The apartment itself, we kind of call it the Cranberry Room because of how it looks, this beautiful red carpet. It was done in the Victorian style. Yeah, go ahead. Go get the square of it. It was done in the Victorian style by Disney artist Emile Coury. I think it was said that working for Walt was kind of like working for making a dream, which I can have to imagine is true. They even had a fire pole in this little apartment.
So
basically, yeah. So here it is. Here's the color of it.
Walt's little hideaway, right?
It was his hideaway. So it was this part of the park where he and his family could go. He could go get some work done. Oh my God, you're talking right from Disneyland. That's awesome. Oh, so cool. Go see if you can get in there. Go see if you can see it. Or don't. Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble. But it was just part of the park where he could go and he could hang out there with his family. They could come by, or he could spend a nice day there at Disneyland and then go somewhere close by to get some work done.
Yeah, Walt had been inspired to build Disneyland after visiting Griffith Park in Los Angeles with his family. He wanted a space. He originally wanted to build it just near his studios where adults and kids could have fun and learn. But he realized his ideas were bigger than that, and so they found a larger space so it could be its own thing. Opens in 1955, and while he was building it, the apartment was kind of used as a leeway station. If you've ever been to Los Angeles, traffic's not great, so if he didn't want to make the drive back, could kind of just hole up there for the night.
Mm-hmm. Oh, way too much. You've been. That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So I hope you like this piece in the mini museum just for you.
Well, everyone can have some.
I think this is going to be a favorite of a lot of people.
No, it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 29. What's next?
Number 29. We're getting close to the end, and these are some of our favorites that we've kept right at the end.
Yeah, some cool ones.
Number 29, Queen of the Skies. This is you can grab it. Boeing 747. And the history of this is that after the Second World War, as technology sort of advanced and air travel was available to more people, there was a greater demand on flights that there wasn't really the infrastructure there yet in the airlines, right? A lot of congested air travel, so Pan Am commissioned Boeing to build what would ultimately be called the first jumbo jet, measuring 231 feet long and with a 195 foot wingspan, longer than the first Wright brothers flight, I think, in just this one plane. Set a lot of records. I think it still holds, or at the time it was the fastest travel between London and New York at like 5 hours, 825 miles per hour, right?
Yes, extremely fast. Mighty Rival, don't worry. We've had some time off camera. We've done some switch offs. We've eaten. The Boeing 747, they stopped building them this year, actually, in 2023.
Yeah, in
There's
January.
still tons flying around. It's not like they've gone anywhere. They've just ceased production on them. You will notice that our piece is a brilliant, beautiful green. That's because this is from the EIBD Aer Lingus. I believe it's called the St. Kieran, this specific plane. It is green because it is part of the Irish Airlines. It was in use from 1971 to most of 1995 when it was decommissioned. I'm getting a look.
You're okay.
I'm okay. When it was decommissioned, it was actually decommissioned in Tucson, right? Tucson, Arizona?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Lufthansa had it first for a few years, and then it went to the Irish Airlines, and then it went to rest in an airport in Tucson where they decommissioned planes.
Yep, so it went to a scrapyard in Tucson, which is where it was decommissioned and taken apart, and that's how we have this awesome green material here. I think it really adds a great pop of color into the museum.
And it really shows you just how long the career was of that aircraft that only just recently stopped.
Yes.
It really continues.
Yes. So yeah, Michael Bay, to answer your question, yes, this comes from the Aer Lingus airline. It's beautiful green coloring. Yes. Oh, no way. Look at that. Oh, what a little coincidence. I love that. I love that for you. All right.
I can jump to the next one. Number
Yes.
30.
Number 30. All right, this is a big one. This is a piece of the original 1969 Woodstock Music Festival stage. The most iconic music festival in American music history. This is it. August 15th to August 18th in 1969. That's when this took place, just outside of Bethel, New York, at Max Yasker's dairy farm. This was a
It was a
sudden
small.
change.
It was a small event, right?
It was very small, only 50,000 people. No. It was supposed to be 50,000 people. 450,000 people showed up. So much that they couldn't build a fence to take tickets. They had to decide, are we going to build a stage and have the show, or are we going to build a fence and take tickets? They built the stage.
They made the right choice.
They made the right choice. There was rain. There was the threat of the National Guard. Huge crowds of people. But it became this rallying point for the counterculture generation.
Yeah.
I mean, the echoes of Woodstock really moves throughout the history of music of the time and into the modern day.
Yeah.
Who played there? Who was on this stage?
Oh, you gotta look it up. So many, but Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Joan Baez.
You'll hear the echoes of this, within your Mini Museum 5. You'll be able to feel that energy, the music of the stage. Maybe.
Really a seminal moment in popular culture, and we're excited to have this small bit. Actually, the story of how the material came to us is interesting. That after the concert, the stage was fashioned, or at least part of it, into a paddleball court, and just sat there. It was part of this court for 48 years until someone just recognized the manufacturing seal, I think, and realized what it was.
Mm-hmm. So this is an awesome, super cool piece of pop culture and music history. If you're into that, if you like this, go back to Campaign. Get a piece of the Woodstock stage.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's next? Oh, this is an exciting one.
Well, I'm going to talk about it.
Tell me about it. I'm waiting.
Number 31, nuclear arms race. This is a piece of a decommissioned Trident 1 C4 missile that was carried aboard Ohio-class submarines that would carry 20 of these missiles from 1979 until 2005, till the next generation came in. These things were deadly. It could have been awful if any one of these ever properly launched. They could travel 4,000 nautical miles just from the submarine. And we have this material. Why don't you tell them what it is?
Yes, so this actually comes from a Mini Museum fan. This comes from our backer community, which is awesome. Katie and Michael Newton. Katie is into the Mini Museums, and Michael, who's also into the Mini Museums, he actually works as part of the decommissioning process of these missiles. So he sent us a piece of it. That's how we get this, is through the Mini Museum connections that we make. This is a great example of how our collections are better because of you guys. So
thank you so much.
Yes. This is a first stage motor bulkhead that was decommissioned last year in 2022. It's kind of cool to think about, in MM1 we had Trinitite from the first atomic bomb. In MM4, we had Manhattan glass that was used during the Manhattan Project, and now we're sort of seeing like the evolution of that into the modern age, which I think is super cool.
But it's not radioactive. It's
Yes,
safe.
totally safe. So thank you, Michael and Katie Newton.
Thank you, guys.
All right, next up, number 32. I really like this one. This is a piece of the original 1979 Sony Walkman, the personal music revolution. The Sony co-founder, the story behind this is that the Sony co-founder wanted a compact, portable device for opera. Most of the players, the tape players of the time, were quite bulky because they played playback and they also recorded. So you needed a lot of machinery to make them work.
And he had the idea of one that would just be playback, which sounds like a good idea, right?
It sounds like a good idea, you know, oh, you can listen to stuff on the go. But there were some doubts about this. There were questions of, well, would people actually use this? Like a recording device, that's not a consumer electronic, which sounds crazy of us, you know, sounds crazy to us right now to think about, but at the time, it wasn't clear.
Yeah.
Well, in the first 2 months of the Sony Walkman, it sold 20,000 or 30,000 units, which was 5 times more what they expected. It was a boom, a massive success.
Yeah, we were really interested in the press unveiling event that we heard about, the Walkman, that Sony gathered a bunch of journalists and tech enthusiasts just in a park in Tokyo. And they all got a Walkman with this pre-recorded message on it. We have the quote. It's, "Hello, I am Akio Moriata, and I have been Sony's chairman and chief executive officer for the last 10 years. And he goes on to sort of explain what the Walkman is, and he invites the journalists to look out of the park, see all these other people that have been giving Walkmans, and just how they're incorporating into their whatever they're doing. Women jogging, kids playing, and they're all in their own little musical world. This is the beginning of headphone culture, for better or for worse.
It really changed everything. Like, the world wouldn't be the same after the Walkman.
Yeah, and it's also an interesting example of the cool Japan cultural exchange. Japan coming on the world stage a little bit more.
Yes, the economic dynamics of Japan and how they really push to make this awesome stuff and really push that idea of like being on the cutting edge of technology.
Yeah.
So that's also super
cool.
Yeah,
someone asked earlier which Walkman it is, and as we said, it's
yes, it's one of the original 1979 Walkmans.
Now, number 33. I tell you, Max, we're getting to the end here. We've had a great day.
We have had a great day. We're doing fantastic. We've got great numbers. We've had such a fantastic turnout. Thank you, guys.
I'm feeling like I'm on the top of the world.
Me too.
Number 33. Speaking of which, Everest. These are Mount Everest climbing ropes. And a little bit about the mountain, in case you haven't heard of it. It's 29,029 feet at last estimate, but it grows every year, right? About an inch or so.
Yes, the tectonic plates that make Mount Everest are constantly crushing against each other and going upwards.
Harder to climb every year. But it's been climbed for quite a while. The first documented one, 1953. Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary. And since then, there's been 6,000 climbers thereabouts. Some of them have done it multiple times, which that's just tempting fate, if you ask me. But the way they do it, they used fixed rope systems that are kind of preset to make it as safe as possible to get up there. And they use Jumars, I think you pronounce it, these little handheld devices that allow you to ascend but not go backwards. So they're a safer way to get to the top of the world. And how did we get this material?
Yes, so this material was collected by Hans on his trip to Kumjang, Nepal back in 2019. These are older ropes. They kind of need to be cycled out, so we were able to take this material back with us, and that's how it's going to be a part of this museum. Just a quick note here. This specific piece might have a little bit of backer input into it. We're still deciding what exactly we want to title it, whether we want to use Everest or if we want to use the Tibetan or Nepalese name or the Chinese name. So we might end up having a backer poll later in the campaign where you guys get to actually decide, like, what do we call this specimen this time?
Yeah, there's a lot of consideration that goes into that kind of stuff, different opinions on different specimens.
Yeah, so we'll do some research, we'll post some stuff, and then we'll have a little poll about it,
Yeah, and now we are going to go to 34.
This is it, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us for so long. We are now at the final specimen of Mini Museum 5, the 5th edition. I hope you're ready. It is the Gateway to the Stars. This is from the Kennedy Space Center. It is Launch Complex 39A, an iconic place. One of the most important launch complexes for all of the NASA program. On Merritt Island in Florida, you will find the Kennedy Space Center. And there you will find Launch Complex 39A, which has housed missions from the Apollo 11 launch with the Saturn V, Skylab, the majority of space shuttle missions, all of these have launched out from this very pad. You can see the image there. There's the space shuttle lifting off. Our material comes from a light pole that was installed during the renovations they did for the space shuttle program. I think you might be able to see it in this photo right here. I'm pretty sure.
I think so. It is a part of that support structure. And that another thing that's had a very long career. Merritt Island is still used because it's near or on the equator, and that gives the whatever is launching a little bit of extra speed as it ascends. It's near open water in case something goes wrong. And we have this material because it's still used, because SpaceX recently did some refurbishing efforts, and that's why we have this older material that we want to share with you.
Yes, Michael Bay, yes, you are correct. So, as NASA's not using the pad right now, I think you can see some Dragon launches from SpaceX off of this pad from time to time.
Yeah, we talked a lot about, well, what do we want the final specimen to be? And we wanted something that was, optimistic with all these moon missions that are scheduled in the U.S. and elsewhere over the next 10 years. At Mini Museum, we're often looking to the past, but with this final one, we also wanted to look to the future. And so we thought the piece from the launch complex would be a great way to do that, as these moon missions and just as we're looking to the future.
Yes. All right. Whew. That was 34 of 34. It's getting a little close to 7 o'clock here on the East Coast. Jamie, you want to come on in?
Yeah, why not?
Whoa. Oh. Yes! The whole
We were
stream,
talking
we've
about
been
this the whole time. We're like, somebody's going to eventually hit their head on it. I didn't plan that. Really made it. Actually.
Right at the end. Are you all right?
Yeah, I can't believe it's held up.
Yeah.
Billy put that in, and it's not great.
It was going to happen, but
That's
anyways,
good luck.
is there anything you want to say?
Thank you. I've been off screen watching the live stream and seeing comments and interacting and stuff, and obviously this is it's wonderful. We're at 415,000.
Oh my God, that's
right
amazing.
now. Maybe
Thank
we
you
should
so
just
much.
stream all the way to 500. I don't know if we can. We're like, these guys are really
We
tired.
gotta go get something to eat.
It'll probably just be me, and then I'll start talking about things Max doesn't want me to talk about. But we should take some questions from folks. But I mean, the big thing is thank you so much.
Yes, throw in some
thank you,
questions
guys.
right now, and we'll try to answer them before the end.
Yeah, Mini Museum
Thank
doesn't
you,
happen
Romy.
without all of you, and of course all of our friends at Backer Kit, who have made this entire process just amazing. Because I'm sure we're stressing their systems out, because our campaign is very big. Not just all of you, of course, doing amazing stuff, but the technical aspects of it, which are really great. But I'm looking forward to digging in and working on this project and giving this mini museum to everybody who's backed, as always, and it's wonderful. And yes, oh, look at that.
Oh, Michael Bay has asked my favorite and most hated question, because there's so much I want to answer for that. If you could have one specimen, what would you include in a mini museum?
Oh my goodness! Wow,
Oof. That's a hard one.
can we fit another one in? We want to. Should we put another one in this one? No,
Yeah,
we
we have to
can't.
put
We
another one in
can't.
MM5.
We could have. We tried to think about a 35th specimen. I mean, not we have specimens that would be amazing for it, but can't squeeze another one in. But what would we want? What would you want? I mean, I'm getting a lot of things that I really wanted in this edition of the mini museum.
I should have thought about this beforehand. I should have thought someone would ask this.
Honestly, I'll say, and I think Grant can agree with me here. I think Coelacanth is my dream specimen, and we're going to be doing that. And if you agree? He's giving me like a non-committal yes. He's saying like, no, I've got something better, but you could say that if you want.
Yeah, I think there's.
I love Coelacanth.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Notre Dame would be amazing. It suffered the unfortunate accident, and that material is not going to be most likely ever available. Not that we didn't try. But yeah, so that one would be an amazing one to have. I think also having another piece of a planet that we brought back ourselves would be an amazing specimen to have.
That
Like
would
if
be
we go,
yes. That would be incredible.
A piece of Mars, or a large moon like Europa or something like that we've brought back ourselves would be incredible to have. I would love to have more backer specimens. Personally, I love the stories. I love interacting with people and hearing that. I can talk about this, so they could just leave, and I could stream for another 3 hours talking about all the cool things across history. But I love that. I personally love that question. It's like one where, I I can just keep going and going and going on
We've
things
got
I'd love to have.
Another good question here. What would be another like topic museum that you'd like to do, sort of like dinos or the upcoming oceans?
Sure. Mini Museum Peaks would be a really great one. Mountain peaks all around the world, but then also associated specimens with those would be super awesome to do. I'd love to do a rock and roll mini museum, just all rock and roll. I'm a big rock star fan, and I would love to do a rock and roll mini museum. Sports teams, there are individual teams that are amazing, individual sports that are amazing. A huge sports museum would be something that would be incredible to do too.
Maybe I'm calling myself out as a bit of a geek here, and I don't know how we would do this. I don't even know what it would be, but mini museum RPG, like mini museum history of like Dungeons and Dragons and board games and stuff.
Yeah,
that could be pretty cool.
I've got some Roman
nerd
bone
stuff.
dice, so we could use those too.
Yeah.
Those are in relics too, I think. Don't we have the bone dice in relics?
I think they're mentioned. Yeah. in
Yeah, so we got
relics now.
some bone dice and relics.
A whole row of Universal Monster stuff from Chip. Yes.
Yeah, that would be
Agreed.
amazing. Or a Star Wars mini museum. That would be one that would be super cool to do too. So I mean, we've got Walt here in this edition, so I imagine we'll get a phone call from Disney at some point in time, which might be an opportunity for us to talk about Lucasfilm.
Yeah, so I'm more of a Star Trek guy.
Star Trek.
That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah. We've got a Roddenberry Tribble. It's not a screen Tribble, but yeah, we have a Tribble.
Ancient World Mini Museum.
Focusing on humans around.
Yes, I think that would be
Nathaniel,
awesome.
I'd love that one. Yeah, and early man mini museum or early human mini museum. That was something we didn't talk about with these early modern humans. Obviously, it's Cro-Magnon is the name that was used. We don't use that name anymore.
Yeah.
There are negative connotations around it. But they're just like us. And honestly, when you're looking at some of these things like, Neanderthal pieces and whatnot, when you hold it and you look at it, you know what you're looking about. I talked about this on Twitter not too long ago. You feel the connection to somebody 70,000 years ago, and it's somebody. These are beautiful pieces of artwork. What else we got there? Space travel, a mini museum flight or space travel would be absolutely amazing.
I'd be into that.
Space could be on its own thing, and then flight could be another thing. Those are ones we've talked about too. Getting Amelia Earhart, we talked about that one earlier. That's taken years to acquire enough material for that. But yes, I would love to do a space travel mini museum.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Go ahead, Peter.
Well, I was just going to say if there's any other questions or that people still want to ask.
Yeah,
or...
we can see if there's any more in there. But just to say, Mini Museum 5, again, this is our biggest collection ever. Probably our most ambitious collection ever. I'm super excited about it. Everyone here is super excited about it. I hope you guys are excited too. This is going to be an awesome project. I can't wait to document every single step of it for you guys. We'll see it in project updates. We'll see it in emails. We'll be talking to you guys about the whole process and getting excited for it to come out. And
can we just get some
shipping.
love in the chat for these two guys and how awesome they've been? Like, I would love to see that because they've been amazing.
You make me blush.
Well, what I should make you blush. You've been amazing, and you too, Peter.
Thank you.
You've both been fantastic. They've worked so hard on this, and I don't want to do it. You can turn a camera on and I'll just talk. It sounds great, but this is amazing, and of course, all of you that have been on the stream, I'm looking over at the comments now. It's just amazing. It's so awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, throw it in there. Let's see the love, love,
Thank you,
love.
And thank you guys too. Just this is all possible because of our backers and because of people at BackerKit, people working behind the scenes that you haven't seen. We should shout out Sam again, running everything.
Thank you so much, Michael Bay. That means a lot.
Yeah, that's been and Michael Bay. Also, thank you for being on the stream the whole time.
Yes, and Sam, who was running OBS, who's been running through the whole stream. Sam, you want to get up and just come wave to the camera?
Come wave to the camera. You want to come wave to the camera?
He did an excellent job.
He said no. He says he's
says
waving
no.
to us. He's not coming to the camera. You watch, he'll flip it over on the camera too and just stick his hand in there.
Sam jumped in yesterday.
Is he gonna
came
do
in,
that?
learned all the stuff he needed to do, and did a phenomenal job. Really professional job.
Yeah,
He's amazing. Yeah, Sam is incredible. He'll be working on specimens for this mini museum as well this summer, and we're looking forward to doing all that. Maybe we'll do another stream again too.
That would be fun. I think that would be good. All right, so we still have we got a lot of work.
We
to
didn't
do.
thank Grant.
Thank you, Grant.
Do you think Grant? Like Grant's been like
Grant
running
Constry,
around.
Yes,
Come
I'm
on.
sorry.
Come on.
I'm lightheaded.
I'll get up.
Thank you,
I
Grant.
was
So
just gonna sit on Max. But...
I have the same shirt on that Grant does, but
Oh,
yes!
You know what it is?
The money shot. There's
There
no
was a
pillow.
safety
the
pillow.
went away. The safety
Who
pillow
took my
went away.
Why does
safety
it keep
pillow?
going down
Yes. The pillow makes sure that
Let me
doesn't
tell you
happen.
what. You don't want
Well,
to be hit with one of those.
You put me in a couch.
No
Are you
one,
okay?
no one told
Yeah,
me.
Here, give me
Okay.
that mini.
You don't notice the
It's
concussion
fourth
until
edition,
later, so I'm fine.
No one told
When
me
you
it was a
polish-
safety pillow.
Yeah.
We told you so many times.
When you polish
They
one of
did
these,
it.
it
I
can
mean,
be really crazy.
listening is your
and
finest
yeah, you don't want to.
skill. Oh my God.
And now I have to go to the hospital.
Sharp.
All right.
They're
yes.
fine. I'm sorry.
Hi,
I'm
this
sorry.
is Grant, and
I'm
now he's dead.
alive and on a couch.
Grant has been running all of our behind the scenes stuff, so let's give a big shout out to Grant. Thank
Yes.
you, Grant, for making sure we've got all these specimens to show people, telling us things to go. What's your favorite specimen in MM5?
Oh, it's coelacanth.
Good answer.
That's very easy.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Dunkleosteus. It turned out there was a cooler fish, but just barely.
Yes, good answer. Thank you to everybody else who's here. Stephanie in the chat. Jen was in here. Andrea, Chip. Is there anybody else I'm missing? Clay. Thank you, Clay.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody.
Thanks, Ellis.
Thank you, Ellis. Thank you to our pin designers.
Thank you, David Johnson, who put together our amazing video. David's also has worked at Mini Museum and has done a number of things for us. Thank you to Christian for his work, and you'll see more of his work in the packaging as we get closer to the final work there. And also thank you in advance to all of our partners that'll be, hopefully I'm visible here, but thank you to all of our partners who will be helping to make Mini Museum 5, from the books that we'll be making, and the boxes and the pouches, and of course then the casting itself, which is done by Meisner, who actually does work for the Vatican of all places. They do amazing work, and again, we're so happy to be working with everybody, and this is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to deliver this to folks because it's a great addition.
All right. We're going to do a little bit of cleanup around here at the office, and then we're going to get some food and celebrate. So,
Cinco de Mayo. I think
It is
we might
Cinco
have
de
to
Mayo, yeah.
get a margarita.
all right. Thanks, everybody. This has been an awesome stream. This turned out so well. I'm so
Thank you,
glad everybody
folks.
enjoyed it as much as we did.
Thank you guys
Right.
so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.